Hello everyone and welcome to the SDG Tech Awards Denmark 2020. We are so glad to have all of you here today at the ultimate celebration of sustainable solutions.
With over 560 nominees, the SDG Tech Awards is the largest sustainability competition in the Nordics, representing initiatives from startups, SMEs, brands, cities, NGOs, universities, and researchers.
Outside of being the partner in crime with Nick as a host today, my day job is the CEO of the Danish ICT Industry Association, where we represent more than 750 IT companies. But today is, what do you say it, pleasure time? Always with you, Nick.
Always, always, always. My name's Nick Horton. I'm the co-founder of Think Legal Tech, which is what it says on the box.
So this year, the SDG Tech Awards takes place as part of the Green Impact Week, a week of events during October 19 to 22, focusing on sustainability, creativity, and impact as the keys to a green transition from recovering from COVID-19. So make sure to visit greenimpact.io to stream or rewatch some of the past events, including the pitch presentations from some of the SDG Tech Award nominees and finalists.
The SDG Tech Awards is an event run by Sustainary, which is a global non-profit partnership platform with the goal of improving knowledge and access to sustainable technology by sharing ideas and fostering business innovation. At Sustainary, we believe the collaboration and learning from one another's successes is the greatest opportunity we have to accelerate change. We do this by a variety of services, including campaigns like the SDG Tech Awards, Green Impact Week, as well as partnership hubs like the Sustainary Cloud Hub.
Finally, we would like to thank the jury, who has been diligently working on assessing all of the 560 nominees to determine the winners and the finalists. And we know that was not an easy job to assess all these amazing companies, but we really couldn't have had these great results without the diverse input from the jury.
Now, just really quick, we're going to run through the schedule, just so that you're able to see what we're up to today. We've got to have a keynote from Innovationsfonden, the Innovation Fund of Denmark. We'll have a panel discussion on the sustainable ecosystem here in Denmark. There'll be a break, an important break. Then we'll go through a bunch of awards. We'll have a panel at 14:20 before the Next Generation Award. Then we'll run through the last of the awards, and at 4 o'clock we'll be followed by the Creative Business Cup Denmark finals. Now, all of this costs a lot of money, and so we wouldn't be able to be happening. None of it would be happening unless the very nice people from EcoTree, Vækstfonden, Innovationsfonden, and Clean were paying from it. EcoTree you'll see up here shortly. Vækstfonden is the growth fund of Denmark. Innovationsfonden is an innovation fund. It's also Danish. And Clean is what it says on the box is the clean industry cluster here in Copenhagen.
So now, without any further ado, let's begin the SDG Tech Awards Denmark 2020. Kicking off the show, we want to welcome a great capacity in the Danish startup scene, one of my personal great role models, Erik Allen Rapp, who's a partner at Vækstfonden, to discuss the importance of investing in green impact. Please give Erik Allen a big hand. Woohoo!
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'll frame this discussion and try to make it brief. What I'd like to do is to talk about, first of all, why we're here and why I'm here, and then who we are, and then what we're doing about it. I'm with Vækstfonden. The reason why I'm here is because of issues that I think have been pretty much highlighted all week here. But I'd like to say them again just to frame things. First of all, I love seeing on the panel here that the future is green, because I believe fundamentally that the future is green. We have some challenges, and it's important that we embrace all of the challenges to begin with. One of them is that the future is hot. We have lost more than a third of the arable land on the planet over the past 40 years. That means that we've lost a third of the farmable land in the world due to a combination of climate change and erosion and unsustainable farming practices. At the same time, moderate estimates show that the average increase in global temperatures will be between 0.5 and 1.7 degrees over the next 100 years. That's moderate. If we hit 2 degrees, things become serious. Polar ice caps melt, water levels rise, our whole population on the planet shifts. Serious stuff. And on that note, also, the future is crowded. By 2050, we will have 10 billion people on the planet. That's 2 billion more than now. We'll start to level out, maybe get to 11 billion by the end of the century, but 10 billion is a big number, especially because a huge number of these people will be living in cities and urban populations. By 2030, 60% of the world's population will be living in cities, a higher number by 2050. We will have megacities of 80 to 100 million people on the planet in cities, in individual cities. And the future is lonely. When I say lonely, what I mean is that the future is lacking diversity unless we do something about it. I'm talking about monoculture. We have a serious issue on the planet, and that's that we've lost more than half of the populations of species on this planet over the past decades. And we're on a path that is not very good, especially because biodiversity is one of the critical things that can keep our planet in balance to work with everything else. So when we talk about climate, when we talk about planet, when we talk about sustainability, all of this goes together. Very, very important. This said, we have an issue because we have a growing population, a warming planet, people moving into the cities, less land to produce food for. We need to increase our food supply by 60% by 2050 to feed the planet. What this means is we have lots of issues. And when we have lots of issues, for me, I see lots of opportunities. Someone who's a lot wiser than I am once said that there are 3 courses of action for any given situation. You can complain about it. You can't complain about it. You can accept it. You can walk away from it, or you can do something about it. This is our planet. We cannot walk away from it. We do not choose to accept it, so the only thing that we have left to do is to change it, do something about it. Don't complain about it, do something, and that's why I'm here, and that's why Vækstfonden is here. Vækstfonden is the sovereign Danish investment fund that is mandated with investing in and supporting the Danish social base, as well as very recently also the Danish impact on the global climate in the world. We've recently been allocated 10 billion Danish crowns. That's 1 crown for every human on the planet in 30 years in order to make a difference in impact. The things that we're looking at that we find compelling and interesting are ways of producing and consuming sustainably. By producing and consuming sustainably, what I mean is alternative proteins, ingredients, platforms, ways of designing waste out of our whole supply chain. And by designing waste out, what I mean is reusing waste, as well as taking the ingredients that are offshoots of the waste that is produced on our planet to turn them into other products to use them as well. This has a climate impact. This has a sustainability impact. This is a very, very, very important issue because we actually waste about 1/3 of the food that's produced on the planet every year. That's 1.3 billion tons, and that's actually enough food to feed the planet in 30 years if we could do something about that. At the same time, we're looking at ways of promoting diversity of biology on the planet. Biodiversity is a critical thing on the planet as well. So this is why we're here. I'm with Vækstfonden. We are on a mission now to invest in and grow green populations and green companies around Denmark and to make an impact from Denmark into the world. And that's why that I'm here. And that's my...
Well, thank you, Eric Allen. For those of you that noticed a butterfly going back and forth across the stage,
Very appropriate.
I'd love to claim credit as a feature in your talk, but there just happen to be butterflies here in the building. Well, listen, we're going to follow up your talk with a panel discussion on the sustainable ecosystem in Denmark, its strengths, weaknesses, and its needs. So I'd love to have you come back on this stage, and I'd love to have the 2 of you in the back of the room. Thomas Canguilhem, co-founder and international director of EcoTree, and Maria Scott, a director at Clean. Thank you very much. And to invite Eric Allen back up on stage. Just in case people out there on the internet haven't met you and don't know exactly what you do, I'd like to give you each a minute, I'd like to give the 2 of you a minute just to tell them what they do. And actually, Eric, just in case somebody's only watching this panel and missed your talk, I'd love to give you a minute too to explain what you do, and then we'll dive into the strengths, the weaknesses, and the needs.
All right, I'll shoot. Well, it's a pleasure. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here, so thank you for that. EcoTree, we do something very simple, but very vital. We plant trees. We do it in a new and quite groundbreaking way, in the sense that it's not based on the classic donation model, but more on an ownership model. So basically, anyone, individuals or firms, can actually buy a tree on our platform in one of our forests in the heart of Europe. So they get, while the tree will grow, they get all the climate benefit of having planted a tree and helped building a forest. And at the same time, because they actually own the tree, ultimately, when we do the selective cutting, they will get, as owner of the tree or the trees, they will get 100% of the revenue.
You say tree, like all the way down to one tree?
Yeah, we can start buying tree by the unit, basically.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. That's very, very definable.
So you both
Everybody knows
save the
what a
planet
tree
and
is,
do your wealth a favor at the same time.
Super. Interesting. Maria.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, because we're going to discuss one of my favorite topics.
Oh, I think we got a problem with your mic. If you could just hold that close to your
Does
mouth.
this work? Yeah, thank
Voila.
you. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. This is really
Thanks for
one of
coming.
my favorite topics to discuss and talk about, so thank you for that. I'm from Clean. Clean is a cluster organization in Denmark. We're a cluster for environmental technology companies, and our aim is to help SMEs, startups, to develop within the environmental area. And we do this by creating networks, matchmaking, innovation projects. Yeah, so I'm sure I'll talk more about this
Yeah, we
in our
make it into
discussions.
some detail, I imagine. Super. And then Eric Allen.
Which microphone am I on?
You're good. I think you're good.
My name is Eric Allen Rapp. I'm a partner in the food tech investment team in Vækstfonden. Vækstfonden, the growth fund, is the sovereign Danish investment fund. We've, together with the Green Investment Fund, recently received 10 billion crowns to invest in sustainable companies.
Done. All right, super. Well, let's see, if we start with the strengths, we'll start with the good stuff. What works here in Denmark? And one of the fun parts about this is we've only got one Dane on, I'm half Danish, we've got a Dane over here, and then we've got an American and a Frenchman. Cool, but I'll let you lead, and then we'll tap in.
All right. Well, from my point of view, I think what we're good at in Denmark is, or at least we have a lot of clusters, and the clusters enable the small companies access to problem owners, to the larger corporates and municipalities that have challenges. In our instance, it's within the environmental area, and we can help them open doors. So I think we have a good network, we have a good ecosystem where this, I mean, Denmark is a small place.
Yeah, and we like to talk.
And I think you can easily make things happen. I mean, Denmark has been seen as a testing ground, and I think it still is. We try a lot of things, and we want to be in front. The government puts a lot of money into Denmark being in front. Yeah. We want to promote ourselves on being good at environmental and sustainable solutions. So I think that's a good platform.
All right, Eric. Your trees are, you're live. Your trees are in Central Europe, you say?
Yeah, right now they are mainly in France. We're actually looking, as we speak, into expanding that in Denmark. Okay. So we can also offer trees in Denmark for our Danish audience. But what I see from France, at least, is that I think Denmark has a particularly high awareness when it comes to the green agenda. There was a survey last year by the Eurobarometer stating that 47% of the Danes were considering that climate change was the most critical challenge, versus 23% for the rest of Europe. So clearly there's a particularly high awareness, and Denmark has indeed been a front runner when it comes to tackling that climate change. So for us it was quite a natural first move outside of our domestic market, France.
So this is the first market you've come to outside of France?
Yes.
Voila. All right, Eric.
What works in Denmark?
Yeah, what works here that... we'll leave out the obvious things about America. And yes, there's an election, but we're not going to mention that. This is the family
No, we're not going to
event.
mention that here.
No.
I spend a lot of time in my food tech rabbit hole, in my ag and food rabbit hole. And I think in Denmark, this is a country that is built on the agricultural industry. We have a very strong tradition in Denmark. And I say we because I've been here for more than 20 years. in the whole food and ag side of it. And this leads directly into sustainability in many ways. In Copenhagen alone, there are more than 400 PhDs in food that are coming out with ideas. There are innovators and incubators that are popping up around Denmark. There's one in Copenhagen called Rockstart that at Vækstfonden we have supported ourselves. There are people like the Food Innovation House, which is in Vejle in Jutland in Denmark as well, and things and initiatives that are popping up at different levels to help startups. At the same time, we have some very large food companies in the world that are working towards global sustainability, that have a massive footprint. That's the food side. Denmark has also been historically a very strong player on the energy side. We've been leading in green energy, and we'll continue to do that. So there are many things that we do in Denmark that are good.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get into what we could do better. All right. So the weaknesses here. We could take it in the same order. Sure.
Okay, I can start. Well, I think from our perspective, when we engage a lot with startups and SMEs, and we also engage with the larger companies that in Denmark have, sustainability is high on the agenda. But it seems like sometimes they're not quite into the game of how to bond with these SMEs.
Sure.
They just look into, okay, let's buy them. Merger and acquisitions rather than how can we join partnerships? How can we work together? How can we innovate together? Because they know that all the good ideas come from the PhDs or all the small companies popping up everywhere. But how, a huge company, how can they engage with this company? And often we see a very skewed relationship there.
Sure.
So I think this is something we need to do better. And the large companies, find out a way to engage with these companies, because I think all the brilliant ideas are out there and they just need to grasp them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, and then there may be some fun parallels to things to take from other parts, let's say of tech, where big companies in tech have realized that they need to, if they're buying somebody small and agile, they need to leave them. And leave them outside the fence. Either you want to jump in on this. What do you see as things we could do better here?
Shall I?
Sure, go ahead.
I spent the past year meeting with many startups around Denmark, and it's been my mission to meet every food tech company in this country, and I'm still working towards it. I've seen some patterns that I think are kind of unfortunate and things that we have to change. I see many startup companies that are underfunded, that lack ambition because they're living month to month and just trying to feed their mouths to get by. I see investors that are not willing to take enough risk to invest in these companies that will be the groundswell of innovation in this country in the future. These are things I think we can do better. And this is also why I'm extremely happy that we are now getting more resources, that we're seeing events like this, that we're actually in the process of doing financial investments in companies to build out this groundswell of startup companies as well. But it's a challenge, and this is something that I think we have to do a lot better. If we want to make an impact for Denmark and for the world in the future, we have to do better on funding small companies.
Now, one of the things about Sustainary here is this is the biggest competition in the Nordics, right? So Sweden, 30 minutes away by, just across the water here, they tend to think bigger. And when they invest bigger. The Danes, we often get criticized for we're looking for a quick deal, and the Swedes build to last. Do you see things we could learn from the Swedes?
We can learn things from the Swedes. We can learn things from anybody across the pond. We need to think bigger, and we need to think beyond ourselves. We need to think not about what can I do with if I only get 1 million Danish in investment, but what if I get 10 million euros in investment? What can I do? And by thinking big, by having really big ambitions, we can change the world. Right. But we also have to have investors that are willing to take risk in these companies and take the risk of betting on these companies as well.
And if I remember right, you guys match a lot of your funding, right? So you usually go in with other funding. How does it work with?
Yeah, so I'm a direct investment guy. I'm an equity person.
Okay.
Vækstfonden funds companies through many different instruments. Loans to industry, through venture investments as well into companies where we, in general, are co-investors with companies as well. As it is in the food space and in the impact space, we're also, for the most part, co-investors with companies, but it's not about matching. It's about going in together and making a difference. Cool. And what we need to do is to learn to step up and maybe be more aggressive and more, people need to push the limit to bring other people along with them, and hopefully we can take a bit of that role.
All right, listen, you've got things you see, and once we've heard your weaknesses, I'd love to hear your follow-up to the investment piece, because you guys are all about bringing a new business model too. But things you see here that we could do better.
Yeah, well, we've been lucky enough to actually get a Series A fundraising end of last year before we actually started our operations here. So we haven't really truly benefited from the ecosystem you just mentioned. But what I can say for sure is that it is vital for companies, especially for startups, to have this ecosystem. You need funding, but you need dedicated funding. While regular traditional business go to banks, it's vital for startups who usually have limited but high amount of cash needs to be able to raise funds. And particularly VEX fund of all VC funds are vital in this process. And it's the same with mentoring and meeting with your peers and leveraging that knowledge, and that's what cluster do. So like any organization, you really thrive and flourish, if I may take a forestry metaphor here, when you're in an ecosystem. So I'm very glad, and that panel makes particularly sense today to see that this is actually happening in Denmark.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Because I completely agree with your point about the financing. Because right now we're doing a survey with all the environmental SMEs in Denmark.
All right, so this is still ongoing.
It's still ongoing.
How long does it last?
It will last the year out.
All right,
So
the
we're
rest of the
looking
year,
to
all right.
really dig into what are the barriers, what are the problems. And funding is really the number one. And I think time is a constraint, and if you're just struggling to survive, you're struggling to make your next sales, you cannot think big, you cannot sit down and write the next EU application. So I really see that here is something where we need to help.
Exactly, I've written a load of those applications, and man, that takes forever. And then when you don't get the money, you're like, lots of short Anglo-Saxon words. Back to you see, we're looking at this funding, this bringing in other funding mechanisms. You're taking you're making trees, are usually bought in pieces of forest, acres, hectares, hundreds of hectares, and you're bringing it all the way down to one tree.
I mean, investing in forestry has always been an old class of asset, and many large corporations and many old wealthy families actually do have forest in their portfolio of assets. What we did is by digitalizing it and leveraging some legal trick, we managed to, as we said in the introduction, to make one tree available to anyone in just a few clicks and for as low as 15 euro. And so that way, we even have a monthly subscription model where you can choose how many trees you want to invest in every month, and that then runs automatically. So you build your little green assets over time automatically. So what we think has been a key to our model was to use the proven method of financial incentive. So again, the donation, the philanthropic model is great, but as soon as you have a COVID, a Brexit, any sort of crisis, that usually stops. And when facing the climate change, we are on an agenda that cannot, take any. The clock is ticking. So using that driver is key and has been a big part of our success. And in that way, we got inspired by the Danish recycling system, the pen system. Yeah. The fact that when you're bringing used bottles and cans back to the supermarkets here in Denmark, you get some part of that money back. And that means that in Denmark, 92% of used bottles and cans are returned. In a country like France, where we don't have such a system, it's right above 50%.
Yeah, or if you look at a place like America that does have the system, but you get 5 cents for your can, and there's a big difference between 5 cents and the equivalent of, I think, 75 cents here in Denmark. If we stick with, sorry.
Just one more comment also, because you talked about matching. There is one thing I wanted to add, and that's that during this time of COVID-19, there has been substantial money from the government that's been funneled through VEX funding for actually matching loans towards startup companies and private and professional investors as well, in order to make them stay more active during this period. And I think it's important to mention that.
Well, one other thing, from weaknesses we get into needs, and we can come back and talk about, there's plenty of other things we could work on, but if we stick with this one with financing, this need, one of the things we talk about up here in the ecosystem is the need to educate the investors, we can wave our finger and say, you need to accept more risk, or we can educate and encourage most, for example, early stage investors are middle-aged white men. So, there's an awful lot of women. We tend to invest in things we understand. Lo and behold, most investment goes to startups run by men because the money's coming from men, and it's usually in sectors that those men understand. And that in things like sustainability, well, there's a lot more women that work in these businesses than do in other ones. So I was thinking we're looking at bringing in investors, educating investors, expanding the investor class, and thereby the access to capital for the companies in this space. What's happening there, if you could talk to that, about the needs and perhaps some of the things that are happening to meet that.
I can speak about this. Please, a couple of comments, because you said a number of things here. I wanted to mention also something else that I think is very important, and that's that I've been working with sustainability dedicated for almost the last decade, and I'll do it the rest of my career. Since I've been working for companies and founders, working with founders in this space, I've never met as many wonderful people. I see a lot more gender balance, I see a lot more cultural balance, I see a lot more balance in general in these companies, which also makes me think that financially, these are good investment opportunities as well. So climate aside, I think there's a very good business to be done here as well. And I think it's very important because...
That message needs to get out.
It has to get out because investors think this is charity, this is philanthropy, this is state subsidies, and it's not. This is real business and a real fundamental opportunity.
I see there is a movement. I mean, you see all the pension funds, they're starting to have, dedicated green funds. I don't know what they exactly call them. And you also see funding opportunities for private persons, also middle-aged men. I have a friend, myself, a startup, who made this portfolio where you can invest in specified green investments. So I think there's a movement. I don't think, it's from one day to the next. But I think people are starting to see this.
Incremental growth. I remember 20 years ago when I moved here that people talked about windmills and it was seen as this nice to have. Now oil, if you've got oil in your investment, if you're a fund, you have to explain why you have oil in your investment because it's not a good investment, and the windmills is, wow, they're real big money.
Yeah, I think it's becoming a competitive advantage. I think people are really now, where should I put my money? They want to create a better future. I mean, it's sounding very... But I think truly
they also want to make
is
money
something
while
people
making.
want.
I mean, you can do both at the same time. One is no longer an obstacle to the other.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, if we look at some of the needs we need to address, because you brought up a lovely one there, which is the balance. There's a better gender balance, balance in general in this space than there are in so many other growth and startup industry niches.
Well, first of all, statistically, it's shown that companies that have gender balance in their boards of directors and the management perform better in the long term. So there are a lot of arguments for why this makes sense in any case. When you add this to the fact that people in these companies are driven very much by business and by values. And when companies that are run by people that have values are funded by investors with values, it means that together there's a lot more trust. And when there's more trust, there's more willingness to accept that things are going to go wrong because they always do go wrong, and that we'll fix them together. So for me, this is a really important thing. And it goes into any sector, actually, tech sector, life sciences, anything. But I see this just so much more in the sector that I'm focused on right now.
Yeah, and do you see more interest also from, let's say, from outside partners, people looking to co-invest with you because they see the money?
Well, this is an interesting thing, because it's really easy to stand up on a pedestal and point at people and say, you should invest more. The only way you really move is by setting an example and bring people with you. Because if you sit back and wait and be passive, then you can wait forever. You can wait for years. We don't have years. We need to figure out what it takes to get people off the chairs to do something. And the way you do that is by walking the talk.
In addition, maybe we're talking about sources of financing, I think it's also vital for startups to have access to great resources, human resources. And with that regard, I think the whole green agenda makes it absolutely fantastic for us because it drives so many fantastic profiles, enthusiastic, qualified, that just are so eager to try to make a difference and that are just jumping into any opportunity in the sustainability agenda. And for us, it's been a pleasure. We have now a team of 10 persons in our office in Copenhagen, and they're all equally fantastic. Yeah. And it has never been so easy, and so it's exciting to actually get teammates on board.
Cool.
And what's the gender ratio?
Well, it's actually, we're out of 10, we have 7 different nationalities, and we're I think we're maybe at 60-40% gender balance.
this week, and next week, Wednesday. Well, cool. It's bringing the people together. And what movements do you see in bringing these clusters together? You know, I mean, we've all worked in this this space, you know, and everybody's got their areas where they can be a little heavy. Researchers sometimes can be a little hard to get to speak in a language that people that don't have a PhD in their particular field will understand. You know, sometimes the universities can be a little hard to get them away from their research focus to application. What do you see? What do you see things we can do?
Well, I think we've had success with, we've had several projects where we match researcher with an SME. So we start with the SME, and they have, we see a need for something that needs to be tested or analyzed or demonstrated, something that's beyond what they have time for.
Eric
perhaps.
mentioned about 400 PhDs in food, and I remember you guys have been part of that Rent a PhD program, or what did you call it? There was something along or PhD matching. You got a researcher.
And we do this together with some of the universities, and we're now in dialogue with almost all of them. They want to make their research applied.
Super.
So, and I think that's, as a cluster, it's one of our main tasks, is to get this research out there and make it live in the companies.
Right, because it's an SME.
But it is a challenge, because if it starts at universities, sometimes there will be some projects where you're like, was this what is really needed? It's a great idea, but it's maybe not what we need right now. So we try to turn it around and say that it needs to be a demand from the company.
Cool. Well, from the companies, how, you know, who do you call at a university? You know, I need help with the...
And that's our role. We really, I mean, we help them find their way. Again, time is a constraint, so they need to just call us, and we'll make sure that we know the right person for you to hook up with.
Right. And because it's a smaller place, there's an opportunity for you to know everybody.
This is a very important thing that you're saying also. Number 17, partnership for the goals. We need more collaborations across industries, across businesses, between education and industry and government. And we see this. Some of the largest companies in Denmark are getting together, including the pension funds, including the actual manufacturers and developers, to work together to drive innovation, and also to work funding education and projects within universities. So it's starting to happen. We just need to be impatient and hope that people can bear with us when we push them really hard, because it's never going fast enough.
Yeah, they less impatient, less patient.
The 17 SDGs should be taught at school. I don't know if that's the case already in Denmark, but they should.
Yeah, at my kids' school, they've got them on these. They got them on the ground at the. So they're getting there. Yeah, they got them on these stickers attached to the floor. Cool. All right, so let's see some more specific needs. We talk a lot about the money because we got two money people on here. I was thinking, what do you see in, let's see, when you're looking at investors or when you're looking at cases, what are there some things, one of the, that we could do better? I'm thinking here specifically in the information, because this is an information platform, or the collaboration, because this is a collaboration platform. Who could we be collaborating with better? Who could we be connecting better? And when I'm thinking here, I'd love to get into some specifics. One of the best tricks, one of the best, should we say, hacks that I've seen with researchers was, instead of the researchers talking directly to us, was to getting them to explain what they did to each other before they explained it to us. I remember watching one researcher say, like, dude, we are both on the short list for the Nobel Prize, but I understood nothing after you finished your name. So good, so getting them to explain what they do in a format that mortals can understand.
This is really interesting, because one of the challenges that we have also is that when you get a great project coming out of university, someone who wants to build a business, and suddenly having an idea is great, but you have to turn that into a product, and then you have to turn that into a business, and then you have to fund that business. And each one of these steps is something new. I meet so many entrepreneurs and investors who, first of all, have challenges in completing their teams, and second, who don't even understand what this raising capital thing actually is. I know, because in my first startup, I went through the same thing. I had no clue how venture capital funds worked. And I think there's a really great opportunity to educate and to help people understand all the different dynamics, to let them know what's out there, and then to give them resources to be able to learn from each other.
I'm about matchmaking too, because I'm thinking a lot of these researchers, they just want to research. It's like a bass in a band. Mick Jagger wanted to sing and Keith Richards wanted to play the guitar. Okay, let's get them together instead of trying to teach them to do each other's jobs. This matchmaking, you guys, I'm thinking, like, are you a tree guy or are you a numbers guy?
No, I'm more like the street smart school smart.
The
I don't
hipster,
know.
the hustler, the hacker, you're the hustler.
But I'm not a forester either, but we're dealing a lot with forestry science or set of skills, and especially when we talk about carbon sequestration and all that. So we are indeed hiring really experts in this field. What I see, the challenge is always the urge for startups to come up with something, this whole test and learn mindset that we do have, and come up with what we call the MVP, the minimum viable product, when sometimes when you come with a more educational background or scientific background, you had kind of this idea of the perfect solution, and you don't want to release anything until it's perfect. And you have to kind of, maybe that's a challenge for this matchmaking to happen, to actually adjust those two expectations on both sides. The urge to do something quick and sharp, and the mission for perfection on the other hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I take it to a bit different direction?
Sure,
because,
go.
Inspired by your,
Yes.
you said about collaborations, because we do a lot of matchmaking with researchers, but also between corporates and SMEs. And there we have spent a lot of time, many hours, developing concepts that we think are working and that are really appreciated by the SMEs. And a key thing to do a good matchmaking is commitment. So a lot have been doing speed dating events and whatever, and in the end you find you might just waste your time. Where we have this concept, meet the buyer, we call it, where we really it's only a few hand-picked companies that get through in the end and meet the corporate. But when the meet takes place, the corporate has promised, they made a commitment. And there we can see that, the feedback we get from the SME or the startups is that, okay, this was time well spent, because you opened a door I otherwise couldn't have opened myself, and it would have taken me years. So I think we need much more qualified and much more good quality matchmaking.
Let's take, and awareness, let's say on the part of the corporates also, that the startup's time is limited. Don't waste their time if you're not serious about buying. Listen, we've got 5 minutes left. In these last 5 minutes, I'd love to go at courage, right? The hard things. So one of your colleagues at Vækstfonden, I won't name her, but that she's a startup, a guy I met, told me an inspiring story. He was a researcher at a university. With a research partner, they discovered something, and they were interested in turning it into a product. When they told their boss, he said, "This is a research institution. Your career is over. I will get you fired." And when they took this to the rest of their faculty, nobody would stand up for them. But she did, and she was the one that actually saved them. And this guy was pretty emotional about telling me how big a difference this one woman made by standing up to them, standing up to the university and standing up to this one big name, and saving their careers. And I was thinking this courage bit. We always like talking about the success stories, but the courage bit. What's a hard thing, let's see, that we think needs to be more done?
Let me comment on that a little bit first. I think it's a beautiful story. Courage is a very, very, very important word. So is tenacity, so is perseverance, and so is grit, and so is loyalty and integrity. I think in a case like this, in a company where you're building something based upon values as well, it's particularly important that you also understand that courage is understanding that failure is not a stop point. It's a gateway to a learning experience to do it again, to change. And when someone in your organization, if you're driven by a vision and someone in your organization tells you to stop, then maybe you're not in the right organization, or maybe you can help them learn something else.
Yeah, failure is not the end of the road. That's something we Danes could really do with learning.
And courage is also something that you need, because you have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to take the risk of failure, otherwise you're never going to succeed.
Yeah.
I couldn't have put those words better. Maybe I can add a little. I think courage is, of course, important. And what lies in courage? I think, for me, it's also networking. You need to get out there, not sit at home. Network, you need to be transparent about what you're doing. You need to find the right partners, and you do that by creating trust, by being transparent. So I think those things are linked together as well.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think courage, again, if we try to define that, it's not having fear, it's being able to overcome those fears.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, when you launch a business, it's a nightmare in so many occasions. So the critical part is really how to learn to overcome those fears. And maybe that's what can be taught at school when kids are failing. It's part of the process, as you said. Same when you learn to walk or learn to bike. it comes with a great deal of failing down.
Absolutely.
And that's how it works. So I think making everyone at ease with failure is actually the best way to let people and entrepreneurs overcome their fears.
Listen, I incorporated my last business on the 9th of March, 2020. Needless to say, things have not gone as we hoped, planned, or thought.
Good timing.
Great timing, and timing is so much. But I'll tell you, something else is money. Money matters, right? And people can love your product and say wonderful things about you, but the best they can do is buy the product. And if we look at Sustainery, Sustainery is a non-profit business. That means it's not going to pay out big cash at the end, much to the regret maybe of family members of the founders. But you guys put money in this, hard cash. It's why the lights are on and the cameras are rolling. Why? Why Sustainery? There are other places you could have put your money.
Well, to our concern is platform like Sustainery are the perfect format to actually build the missing link between awareness and action. When we talk about sustainability, the awareness is there. I mean, every time a celebrity posts something about an ecological disaster, they get thousands, hundreds of thousands of likes in an instant. So the awareness is there. But out of those thousands, millions of likes, how many people do actually something? And I think platforms like Sustainery are vital to actually activate this awareness and turn those good intentions into tangible actions.
Cool.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's a great platform in our eyes. We think you gather the right people, and we by having this award show, I mean, we are able to position some of the startups, and I think that's really crucial. That as a startup, you need exposure.
Yeah, and maybe also to give some credit to the corporates that are out there doing their thing too. Yeah.
So I'm going to walk back a little bit what I said earlier, in that it's about business and return, because really it's about ecosystem. And to build an ecosystem, you need to be willing to put money into a place where you might not get the money back out again, but what you're building will indirectly create opportunities which can generate things. Organizations like Sustainery, organizations that are great at building network, at building ecosystem, they're essential for what we're doing.
Cool. Couldn't agree more. But tell you what, we got a 540, I think it was, nominees to get through, and at least a dozen prizes to hand out. You guys will be back on stage to hand out a load of those prizes. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you now, right, to Thomas, to Mid, and to Eric Allen. I did get those names right, didn't I? Oh my God, please tell me yes. No, what? Maria, oh God. Terrible names. Note to self, this is all written so small. I'd say I could use some sustainable stuff that made things bigger. But I'd love to thank you, and no matter what, I'd love to especially to thank you for paying for this, because this doesn't go without cash. So thank you very much. Cool. If we could, a big round of applause for the sponsors that make this possible. Thank you. Super.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, this is the last part of the first part. And I must say, as Eric also said very well, that we need to be able to fail better. And once you understand failure, it is actually impossible to fail. Also, Eric Allen also said the future is lonely, but I must say so is the present. Last year, we were sitting in another venue with a crowd in front of us. I could see faces, smiles, grins. It's hard to sense you out there, but thank you for being there and sending some virtual karma. I can actually feel it, so stay tuned. But now it's time for the first break after this amazing panel. Thank you for that. We'll be back here in 10 minutes, and we're going to present some quite exciting stuff, because we're going to announce the 15 SDG Tech Award winners, and we're going to have a panel discussion between sustainability leaders in Denmark. Come back in 10 minutes and stay tuned. See you a bit. Welcome back from the break. It was 10 minutes-ish, but in these days we cannot count on all the frameworks we put up, so bear with us. We're now going into the very interesting stuff here, because we're going to be presenting the winners within the 8 award categories for best startups in food and agriculture, diversity, plastic and waste, resource management, sustainable cities, and best company. We'll be calling to the stage impressive business professionals who's going to hand out the awards. Before they do so, you're going to see a short introduction of the company and the finalists. And after that, we're going to announce who actually wins the prize. So stay tuned for that. Before all that jazz, I would like you to welcome one of the mothers of the Danish startup scene, Annette Nørgaard, who's going to present the first award for Best Startup. Annette is an entrepreneur who's been has been a big part of building the Danish startup ecosystem. We've been around for some decades after all, yeah? Back then there was nothing, but now it's thriving, so tenacity, as someone said earlier, is important also in this business. She's a very active person in the ecosystem, helping both partners and startups optimize their business with relations and other values. Annette is probably one of the biggest networkers we have in Denmark, and she's not afraid of giving, also called karma economy. Please welcome Annette on stage, which she already is, because she's just a little bit ahead of everyone else. Give her a big hand.
And thank you for the introduction. I'm very pleased to have the honor to give the award or announce the award for the best startup, because this startup scene really is in my heart, and I have been burning for connecting people, building up the ecosystem my entire life. I also want to thank people to do these kind of events, to do these kind of ecosystem buildings, because it's so important that we keep supporting, we keep actually awarding startups and telling the stories. So, because of the great introduction I got here, I will not talk a lot, but go directly to mention who is the winner. Oh, sorry, we need to see the nominees.
As a result, 50 million tons get wasted every year in Europe alone. EatGrim solves this problem by sourcing the produce directly from farms and delivering it as food box subscriptions, making it easy for consumers to eat sustainably. They are building a platform that ensures efficiency in sourcing, data management and communications, connecting the supply to demand from the B2C market as well as the B2B. Worth more. Each year in Denmark, 2.5 million people upgrade their smartphones, and only 20% of replaced devices are used again. Worthmore introduces full incentives so that your devices can do more than collect dust in your drawers. We partner with some of the leading sustainable initiatives in Denmark to help you convert your phones to cash to support their causes. Lululab is an award-winning game studio on a mission to change the world through engaging, educational games on taboo topics. In 2020, Lululab co-designed a platform of edtech games on sexual education, in partnership with Save the Children, BRAC, and children in Uganda and Sierra Leone. The purpose of the Dilemma game is to help eradicate teenage pregnancy and school dropouts in East and West Africa. The Dilemma game has now been implemented in Uganda and Sierra Leone and has impacted thousands of girls and boys with valuable information on pregnancy, puberty, sexual rights, and contraceptives. Lululab is now looking to scale to South Asia. Wear is starting a waste-free fashion revolution by making textile upcycling a scalable and profitable solution to the wasteful fashion industry. Less than 1% of textiles are recirculated. Wear wants to change this through an upcycling model that makes textile upcycling scalable so that we can become the catalyst for a waste-free fashion revolution. Our first product transforms denim into sneakers. By reusing fabrics, we skip resource-intensive steps such as dyeing, spinning, and weaving, and can thereby offer sustainable fashion where people don't have to compromise on price or style. Nerve Smart Systems presents next-generation battery control technology, the Nerve Switch. Nerve Switch can be used to solve challenges in current energy delivery and storage systems to become a key technology in the electrification of society. Nerve Switch reduces hardware costs and requires no time to balance cells, enabling charging and discharging at a constant high voltage. The nerve switch, replacing hardware with software.
Really big congratulations to all the nominees. And now to the winner. I was so eager to announce that. A very huge congratulations to the winner of the best startup, Nerve Smart Systems, for the product Nerve Switch.
Well, thank you very much. I'm really excited and honored to receive the best startup from SDG Tech Award. It's truly a unique feeling standing here after years of since I first conceptualized my idea. So this has, of course, been made possible because of our visionary investor, Ross Jackson, and the exceptional team at Nerve Smart Systems. They have been working very hard and patiently to actually become the best startup and to get the best product and technology. Receiving this award will help us spread the word about our Nerve Switch battery systems and how this can help speed up the electrification of society. So, it will, of course, also increase our visibility towards our customers, our collaboration partners, and the future investors that we're looking at right now. So for this, we are truly grateful and would like to thank Sustainary, their partners, and the jury. So thank you very much, and have a good show.
Cool. Oh, congratulations. Thank you, and thank you, Anita, for handing out that award. To present the Food and Agriculture Award, I think it perfectly makes total sense. Please welcome back to the stage, to welcome back Eric Allen Rapp. Eric Allen is partner at, says here, the Agri-Food Tech Investment Team at Vækstfonden, the investment fund of the Danish state, and as part of the Danish Green Future Fund, you didn't get that mentioned when you were up here first time. As part of the Danish Green Future Fund, you're committed to driving the green transition by backing green and sustainable businesses with world-class potential.
Woohoo! Now everybody repeat what he just said. I understand there are going to be some runners-up, or is it just the award? Shall I just announce the award?
Alika. Since its foundation in 2016, Alika has been in the forefront of the Danish microalgae industry. Growing demand for plant-based ingredients, Alika's microalgae are among the most sustainable and protein-rich crops that can be cultivated. Alika takes pride in developing, producing, and processing microalgae into ingredients that can be used to develop new sustainable food, feed, and beverage products worldwide. Grim is a platform for ugly and surplus fruits and vegetables. About 1/3 of all fruits and vegetables grown are not sold because they don't look perfect or because of overproduction. As a result, 50 million tons get wasted every year in Europe alone. Grim solves this problem by sourcing the produce directly from farms and delivering it as food box subscriptions, making it easy for consumers to eat sustainably. Second, they are building a platform that ensures efficiency in sourcing, data management and communications, connecting the supply to demand from the B2C market as well as the B2B. We are fauna fanatics and we see insects. We offer an affordable, sensor-based digital solution that gives precise and efficient insect monitoring for farmers. We are developing technologies to show what, when, and where is in your field. This would be an invaluable tool in precision farming, effective integrated pest management, and monitoring biodiversity. Freshland is the platform that helps consumers eat delicious, healthy, and affordable food straight from the farm. Freshland disrupts the traditional food industry with a short and digital supply chain. Instead of months, it takes only a few days from harvest to table. This direct, just-in-time model is more sustainable. It eliminates the cold chambers and artificial ripening, reducing carbon emissions and food waste. Plant here. The UN has said that switching to a plant-based diet can help fight climate change, but finding options when eating out can be challenging. Plant here works with individuals, organizations, and restaurants, inspiring them to put more delicious plant-based options on their menus. Plantier has collaborated with a number of like-minded organizations to raise awareness of the impact of our food choices on the planet.
And the winner for the Food and Agricultural Award is Freshland. Matilda Philip, congratulations. We got a little bit of. Here you are.
We are extremely pleased to stand here today. This is a great honor. It's also a great blue stamp of our platform because when we started out for almost 5 years ago, a lot of people didn't believe in us. They thought disrupting the food supply chain, shortening the food supply chain, so instead of months, it takes just a few days until the fruits arrives to your kitchen table, that would be impossible. So it's a really great honor to stand here. And of course, we are the face of Freshland, but there's a lot of people's hard work that is behind this, both from our team that is following this event today in office, but also our farmers. They are huge contributors to make this happen, and hopefully they are also benefiting a lot from the expansion of our model. And the consumers that are our biggest fans and cheerleaders for everything we go and do, they are amazing. And we're just really thankful for winning today. That means a lot to us.
Perfectly said. No more to add. So thank you so much to the organization. It's an honor and a pleasure, and we'll continue delivering. Thank you.
Congratulations, Freshland and Eric. My breakfast actually came out of one of your boxes, so thank you for that as well. Now, I want to welcome Torben Midgaard Poulsen, who is an entrepreneur officer at Innovationsfonden, the Danish Innovation Foundation. And he'll be joining us remotely, that's fashionable these days, to present the award for diversity, then the award for research and visionaries, and just to tell you a bit about what the Innovation Fund is doing in Denmark, they're creating a framework for entrepreneurs so they can develop innovative and viable solutions to society's challenges. Welcome, Torben, on screen.
And giving out this diversity award. Diversity is about providing equal and fair opportunities. It's about unfolding the potential of a broad talent base, and it's also about creating better societies, organizations, and structures. So with that in mind, I think we should jump and see our 5 runners up. Hopefully. You want a joke?
Good Talks. We are dedicated to getting more women into leadership and boardrooms by giving our members competences and courage to lead, and by fueling organizations to make their superheroes fly. Good Talks is a digital platform where you show up without armor, a platform where we encourage awareness and a greater understanding of ongoing issues and challenges that we face in business. Together, we lift each other to take the next step. Good Talks is a place for those who want to offer guidance and share their unglossy stories to gain balance, success, and lasting relationships in a network of passion and cooperation. Wonder Coders is an NGO dedicated to educate, support, and inspire women in pursuing careers in tech through mentorship and hands-on instruction. The Nordic Women in Tech Awards initiative is on a mission to celebrate the achievements of women in the industry and inspire diversity in tech. Nordic Women in Tech Awards aims to feature role models and showcase their work and achievements in the industry. With 11 categories and over 300 nominations, this is the biggest yearly celebration of women in tech in the Nordics. Diversity factor. We believe that organizational excellence is linked to a diverse and engaged workforce. We help you create an inclusive and more equitable environment where diversity thrives. We're not about hauling businesses kicking and screaming into the world of diversity and inclusion. We are there for the ones that realize diversity and inclusion is there to liberate their organization and future-proof it. Our role is to service the clients who want to advance their diversity and inclusion journey and need a route to market to do so. Develop Diverse, the world's first software solution that analyzes stereotypic content for gender, age, and ethnicity and proposes non-stereotypic and inclusive alternatives. Studies have proven that the use of stereotypic language in job ads is common, which makes them biased towards specific demographic groups, reducing the applicant pool by up to 50%. Develop Diverse detects biased language and suggests neutral alternatives. This way, our customers have attracted more qualified candidates regardless of gender, ethnicity, or age, and saved time on recruitment. Softer is a network committed to rewrite the narrative that tech is hard. We are a work-in-progress platform built on a feminist consciousness. We believe that softer values such as care, empathy, community, collaboration, and multiplicity is the path towards equal opportunities to learn and practice digital art and design. We work through various digital and physical formats and facilitate tutorials, live streams, virtual exhibitions, and residencies at our studio space in Copenhagen.
All right, now to the winner. This year's winner actually taught me the word unconscious bias watcher. And I know that they work every day hard for this agenda of diversity. So give a big round of applause for Develop Diverse.
Congratulations. And there's a microphone.
I'm very pleased to be here. I'm really honored to have this award. It has been a long journey of me and my great team. It has been a journey of bumps and excitements and hard work to show that we need to normalize diversity and to prove companies that it is important that they take action and that it's not only good to have it on the agenda, but rather we need to take actions of what, how, and how to achieve it. So this award, I hope, brings this visibility of how relevant it is to have diversity in the workplace and as well as inclusion. And I hope this helps also to companies to make it imperative in their journey to success, because we know diversity is now the key for success. It's not anymore nice to have or something to, just to do a bit of good for the world. So I would like to thank my team. That's really, 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 really important. I would like to thank our investors. I would like to thank our advisors. We have had lots of advisors. They have been key as well on our success. Yeah, and our customers that they see a value, and they actually every day they see an increase on those diversity numbers by focusing on the language they use. Yeah, thank you very much overall.
Super. Well, thank you. Before Torben disappears, he will also be presenting the winner of the Research and Visionaries Award. But first, we have a short message from last year's winners. ARCAB, which is, I think, pretty cool, the Arctic Research Center Autonomous Boat, a research project from the University of Aarhus.
Hi, I'm Simon. Sustainability is a key topic of the modern age, and that is because that all around us the world is changing at previously unseen rates. Research and development and technology and gaining of knowledge is key to stopping this change and changing the world for better. When we started our project, we wanted to move cargo autonomously by water. But by discussing with a researcher, we were able to change the scope and suit the project to his needs, which in the end helped him gain knowledge which he could use for a more sustainable future. For all researchers, and especially students, considering sustainability is a key factor, as it both makes projects more worthwhile, but also makes them more exciting to work on. And being able to help someone make a more sustainable future is a great experience. And all contributions matter.
Arctic Research Center, ARC. Throughout the past
All right. So this award is a very important topic. It's very important that we get the great ideas out from the university and into actual sustainable solutions that help our world. So with this in mind, let's see our 5 runners-up.
Arctic Research Center, ARC, the Cost-Efficient Ocean Profiler, COP. Throughout the past year, the ARC Cup was designed, manufactured, and optimized by 3 bachelor students from the Aarhus School of Engineering. In August, ARC Cup was successfully tested in Greenland. Its unique and autonomous design has contributed to measurements in remote areas, leading to impactful data about the melt and seawater mixture. Conceptual modeling for product configuration systems. In the current world, automation and digitalization is critical. However, manufacturing companies face challenges regarding the automation process. This project offered solutions to develop and sell more products with fewer resources, lower risk, and less errors through a sustainable production process. Product configuration customizes a product to meet the needs of each individual customer. More complicated customizations incorporate rules, algorithms, and artificial intelligence. This research project strives to improve environmental, economic, and social dimensions of sustainable manufacturing. With Halter Topsoe as one of these manufacturing companies, this project enables them to reduce time and resources, as well as increase their competitiveness through a sustainable business model and marketing tools, which leads to a cleaner production with higher revenue and quality, with a special focus on customer requirements. Intelligent pollution monitoring for water. We offer a unique measuring system that can identify toxins in drinking water. The automated solution works as an early warning system by providing continuous online readings. IPM provides an effective safeguard monitoring solution that ensures every glass of water you drink is free from chemicals. Legacy is a digital platform that helps SMEs accelerate green transitioning. SMEs are facing increasing sustainability demands from large buyers. Faster and cheaper solutions compared to conventional consultancy is needed. Legacy's algorithm matches the client with relevant initiatives from the database, and the client gets a structured roadmap with tools, calculators, and initiatives that will make their company save money, become compliant, and cut emissions. Naturem Bioscience develops sustainable and healthy industrial food and feed ingredients based on microalgae to solve global climate challenges. Naturem Bioscience combines the side streams from traditional food production, industrial fermentation, and microalgae biotechnology to produce food and feed ingredients rich in protein, healthy lipids, and fibers. These ingredients have the potential to replace less sustainable alternatives such as meat, protein, and palm oil. Compared to meat protein production, CO2 emission, water consumption, and land use is reduced using no antibiotics.
And this year's winner for the Research and Visionaries Award is Naturum Bioscience.
And you get a handshake, even despite.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure standing here today. And first of all, I just want to thank the selection committee and the jury panel for selecting us for this award. It means a lot to us. Food production today is one of the major contributors to the massive climate changes we're facing today. We need drastically to find new solutions for how we will produce food for almost 10 billion people in 2050, and at the same time emit less greenhouse gas and use less land and water resources. We believe that our fermentation-based microalgae technology can do that, and we firmly believe that it has the potential to disrupt the way we think of food production and farming in the future. Sustainability is in our DNA. It's one of the core reasons why we founded our company a couple of years ago. My brother Christian and co-founder, he was not here today, and I. So winning this award means a lot to us. It's I think the best award we could win, being a very visionary company. So of course we want to thank all our collaboration partners on the academic side and also on the commercial side. If you want to lift these new technologies, it requires a lot of collaboration with many parties, so thanks a lot to them. And finally, thanks to Sustainary for setting up this event. I think getting awareness on new technologies is crucial and essential if you want to promote such new solutions instead of just continuing down the route of incrementally improving existing technologies. So it creates awareness not only of our technology, but also on many of the other sustainable technologies out there. So thanks, Sustainary, for that.
Super. Well, congratulations again, Naturum, and thank you, Torben, wherever you are out there on the internet. I see her in the back, Maria. Could somebody, Thomas, if you could interrupt that conversation happening there? Voila, you're on. Maria, you. Cool, we'll give you a handheld mic. All right, please welcome, with a handheld mic, Maria Skade, Director Manager of Clean, to the stage to present the award for plastic and waste and resource management. So this is plastic and waste, that's one award. Resource management is another one. Clean, and it says here, connects companies, utilities, academia, and the public sector around market-driven green innovation in Denmark and internationally.
Correct. Thank you for that introduction. Well, it's an honor for me to present the next award. Well, plastic makes a difference in our lives and in the world, also regarding the environment. We use plastics for everything. It's in windmills, it's in solar panels, it's even around our food. but it has a purpose in this sense. We minimize food waste, for example. But as goes for all materials, we need to be smart about our use of it. And to dream of a world with minimal waste is not utopic, because when we look at all the nominees for this category, I think there's hope. So let's...
BOFA is the waste management entity of the Bornholm municipality, providing waste collection and treatment for 40,000 people. With its vision, Bornholm showing the way, BOFA intends to phase out waste incineration by 2032. By then, all waste should be prevented, reused, or recycled. To achieve this, BOFA is working towards a circular economy through technological development projects and innovative partnerships supported by EU programs. The Danish Plastics Federation is the trade association for Danish plastics converting companies and their suppliers. Our key focus is how the Danish plastics industry can contribute to the green transition and circular economy. Too much plastic packaging is thrown away instead of being reused or recycled. To change this, Network for Circular Plastic Packaging, operated by the Danish Plastics Federation, has created a design guide, reuse and recycling of plastic packaging for private consumers. The aim is to ensure that plastic packaging is designed for circularity. The design guide is the result of a collaboration across several fields and industries with individual perspectives on how to ensure circular plastic packaging. The guide is a tool for companies wanting to contribute to sustainable production and consumption, consisting of design decisions, concrete examples, and technical descriptions of how to design plastic materials for circularity. Last Object was founded in 2018 with a mission of creating sustainable alternatives to single-use products that have over 10 times environmental efficiency compared to their single-use counterparts. Last Swap is the first reusable, sanitary alternative to single-use cotton swabs. Made from TPE and nylon, Last Swap comes in a biodegradable, corn-based plastic case and can last up to 1,000 uses. Last Object has recently designed new reusable items to replace single-use products, for example, Last Tissue and Last Round. Waste Outlet is an international B2B trading platform for waste and secondary raw materials. We believe nothing is really waste. We make it easy and time-saving for sellers and buyers of waste to connect. For more waste to be recycled and kept out of landfill, it's important to find the right trading partner. With our waste marketplace, we empower companies to create a more sustainable and cleaner world. Maystick, access to choose a lifestyle with less plastic and plastic-free products developed sustainably. Means supermarket pricing. Why? Because change happens when everybody can find it and afford it. Maystick uses their plastic-free and compostable expertise to make business solutions too. Much more than you think can be plastic-free.
And the winner is, I would really like an envelope where I did this, but okay, let's imagine that. The winner of the Plastics and Waste Award is Waste Outlet. And unfortunately, Waste Outlet unfortunately had an emergency and wasn't able to be here today. However, we would like to thank you for the SDG Tech Awards and the support to do a difference in circular economy, in the waste trading industry for the better of the environment and climate. It means a lot for us to receive the SDG Tech Award recognition. Remember, nothing is really waste, just resources that haven't found their way to be reused or recycled. Feel free to contact Waste Outlet if you're interested in partnerships or investments. So let's give them a hand again. I continue to the next award. Yeah. And I also have the honor to present the next award within the category resource management. Solutions that contribute to the reduced consumption of our natural resources play a key role in reaching the SDGs. That is why I'm happy to present this award in the category Resource Management.
Roboto. We want to make the world more sustainable through robotics. With AWRA, we want to prove that technology can make a real impact. The increasing numbers and severity of wildfires is a deadly symptom of global warming, and one we can help diminish. We are providing the data firefighters need to make safer, faster, and smarter decisions on wildfire operations, ultimately containing wildfires faster. Worth more. Each year in Denmark, 2.5 million people upgrade their smartphones and only 20% of replaced devices are used again. Worthmore introduces sustainable incentives so that your devices can do more than collect dust in your drawers. We partner with some of the leading sustainable initiatives in Denmark to help you convert your phones to cash to support their causes. Siemens Gamesa is a global leader in the wind power industry with a mission to make clean energy affordable and reliable. Siemens Gamesa is expanding its scope to address challenges beyond renewable energy generation. One such product is electrical thermal energy storage, or ETES, offering a cost-efficient, gigawatt-scale storage solution. ETES is planned in 3 variants, which can 1. Make renewable baseload capable to mitigate curtailment, 2. Be added to existing heat cycle to increase flexibility and revenue base, 3. Turn power plants into large-scale storage to ensure security of supply and gain a second life options for these power plants. Solar sack. 2 billion people do not have access to safe drinking water. Many use wood fuel to boil water, adding to the negative environmental impact. SolarSack has developed a safe and affordable alternative to water purification by using the power of the sun to clean 4 liters of water in 4 hours for $4. The company has developed a user-friendly UV indicator that will reduce purification time to 30 minutes. The UV indicator calculates when the purification process has reduced 99.99% of pathogens and displays a smiling face to let the user know that the water is safe. The SolarSack UV indicator is simple to use. Fill the SolarSack with water, clip the indicator onto the back, and place it in the sunlight. Nerve Smart Systems presents next-generation battery control technology, the Nerve Switch. Nerve Switch can be used to solve challenges in current energy delivery and storage systems to become a key technology in the electrification of society. Nerve Switch reduces hardware costs and requires no time to balance cells, enabling charging and discharging at a constant high voltage. The Nerve Switch, replacing hardware with software.
And the winner of the Resource Management Award is Siemens Gamesa Renewable Energy for their ETES electric thermal energy storage system.
Looks great. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. So sorry that I cannot be here with you today. And hailing from the home office, I thank the whole panel for selecting us. We are especially happy to receive this award from Denmark, as our technology was initiated 10 years ago by our former Danish CTO and Mr. Wind, as we call him, Mr. Henrik Stisdal. With it, we proved that the energy transition going to 100% renewable is possible today. So in the name of the whole latest team from Siemens Gamesa that is sitting now in India, Spain, and Germany, thank you very, very much. And bye-bye from Hamburg.
Congratulations. And thank you, Maria, for presenting the awards. So, well, you can continue your conversation. So I want to welcome Gerald Babel-Sutter, who's the CEO and founder of Urban Future, who will be joining us remotely to teach us a bit about Urban Future. He'll also present the winners of the Sustainable Cities Award, and he should be on right now, so give him a hand when you see him. It's just a video, anyway. Give it a hand.
When I take the time to look closely at what happens in my hometown around me, I'm always amazed at the huge potential out there to make our cities more sustainable. It's not about sustainability as such. It's actually about us. It's about all of us. Because it seems that we humans will be really successful in removing the very basic of our existence. So wherever I am, I just see questions everywhere. I am wondering why we continue to build the cities around cars. Is there really no alternative to burning fossil fuels? Why do we keep using the same carbon-intensive materials in construction, and isn't there a way to avoid producing so much waste? There are so many opportunities to drive change these days. But what's really inspiring is the fact that if you start looking around you, everywhere you'll find passionate people. You'll find entrepreneurs and decision makers who not only see those opportunities as well, but who actually act upon them. And that's exactly why we started the Urban Future 5 years ago. We wanted to give those who act a platform to meet and share experiences in how to drive change. Well, that sounds simple, but the focus made it Europe's largest event for sustainable cities within just 3 years. The Urban Future today is the annual place where thousands of the most passionate urban changemakers from basically around the world meet, inspire, and get inspired. And that's why I'm particularly proud to present to you today 5 truly inspiring changemakers who set out to change their businesses, their industries, and the societies around them. But before, let's get some privacy in the Urban Future offices. Come with me. So we got 5 finalists for the SDG Tech Awards in the category of Sustainable Cities. Let's find out more about them.
Arup, a global firm working across every aspect of the built environment. Arup's Cityringen is an example of elegant and intuitive transport based on listening to the needs of Copenhagen's citizens and building on the city's existing system. Cityringen secures sustainable mobility 24/7, encouraging residents out of cars and onto an environmentally friendly form of transit. Paying homage to the areas they serve, stations feature colors and materials that echo the neighborhood above ground. Cityringen is a key part of Copenhagen's plan to become carbon neutral by 2025. Trolltægt, acoustic panels for walls and ceilings made from true natural raw materials, wood from local certified forests, and cement from the Danish subsoil. Trolltægt's vision is to be a trendsetter in intelligent acoustic solutions. The acoustic panels are among the leading solutions for all building types and is based on the cradle-to-cradle vision of creating healthy products which benefit both human health and the environment. Trolltægt has achieved results in 4 SDGs and reduced energy consumption by 21%, thanks to fully automated processes and efficient technology in the factory. Green Mobility is a sustainable and shared mobility service that improves your city environment. Today, a fleet of 900 electric vehicles are shared in 6 European cities across 3 countries. With thousands of daily trips from private customers and companies, Green Mobility reduces pollution, congestion, and noise in cities. Green Mobility has saved over 1,900 tons of CO2 through electric and zero-emission vehicles rather than traditional ones. Lendager is a game changer in the building and construction industry, taking global climate problems and converting them into new solutions. The architects at Lendager have developed a design tool to make sure we implement all 17 SDGs in architecture and the built environment. The design tool is used in the design of Uni 17 Village, the first building in the world implementing all 17 sustainability goals in one housing project. This is how we enable change. Danish Solar Energy. Founded in 1993, we are one of the most experienced solar companies in Europe. Our new technology will open a new age in solar technology. Colored sustainable roofs and facades. A solar revolution. With these solar modules, we replace roofs and facades with a beautiful power plant. It's the most efficient selection of colored solar modules. This technology is especially interesting for the building industry, but can also be used in the automotive industry, advertising, electronic devices, etc.
So now, without any further ado, let's find out who is the winner. And the winner of this year's SDG Tech Awards in the category of Sustainable Cities is Lendager Group. Congratulations!
Voilà, monsieur, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm really, really proud to receive this. We've worked at Lendager Group relentlessly the past 10 years on creating a holistic approach to sustainability within the built environment. We stand for over 75% of all virgin material used in the cities. So the need for new solutions is really, really key. And the SDGs brings a whole new way of looking at buildings and cities. The 17 SDGs consist of 232 indicators behind it. Imagine creating sustainable solutions from all of this and creating buildings and designs from this tool, and that's what we've done. So I'm really proud that you've seen that you honor it with this prize, because honestly, this is a way to design the future cities and buildings by using these tools to create solutions not only on energy, resources, biodiversity, but for all 17 SDGs, and that's what we can see is possible. So I want to thank Sustainary, I want to thank the SDG Tech Award. This is fantastic, we are insanely proud, and also want to thank our team from UN 17 Village, our developers, NREP, and all the partners. Thank you so much for giving us this prize. Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you, Joe, for presenting that award. Next up, I'd like you to join me in welcoming Thomas Norman Kangiem, co-founder and international director of EcoTree, to present the Best Company Award. EcoTree is a new and groundbreaking way to invest in sustainable tree planting. They let you buy and own trees, all the way down to a single tree, so that you can do the planet a favor, all while building a green asset that will gain value over time. Voilà.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to actually deliver this category, which is indeed a very challenging one, like best company. Who doesn't want to be the best company? Yeah, it's indeed maybe really a 360-degree roadmap to be the best company. I guess ultimately it's about delivering a product or a service that makes a difference. I think we could wrap it up this way. But I guess it also goes beyond that. It's also about building a framework for your employees and your teammates so that they are happy, enthusiastic, recognized. I guess it's also about building business long-term solid relationship with partners, providers, suppliers. So maybe ultimately, if I should say it all in a nutshell, maybe it's all about being inspiring as an organization. So let's see who's the winner in this category today. the nominees.
Exactly. And just so you know who this is, good. We apologize. Yes, please welcome last year's Best Company winner, Julia Schmorgan, Sustainability Advisor at Danfoss, who will be passing on the Circular Concept Best Company Trophy. So we got the introduction, we got the trophy, hand her over. Here come the nominees.
Danfoss introduces the Vacon NXP grid converter. This solution is an alternative source of power for ships in port, which plays a key role in reducing fuel consumption, emissions, and noise. Vacon NXP grid converter supplies electrical power from the local grid to a ship via cables instead of using the ship's main engine and generators. Almost 500,000 tons of CO2 would be mitigated annually if just half of all seagoing ships in European harbors used shore supply. CHR Hansen. 2.4 million babies are born extremely preterm globally every year. The inflammatory disease, necrotizing enterocolitis, is the leading cause of mortality for this group. A 3-strain probiotic blend by CHR Hansen supports the intestinal tract for healthy immune and digestive function. Launched in November 2019, the product is used in neonatal intensive care units. Our 3-strain probiotic blend supports the health and development of intestines while reducing the leading cause of death among preterm babies in an all-natural way. Lendager is a game changer in the building and construction industry, taking global climate problems and converting them into new solutions. The architects at Lendager have developed a design tool to make sure we implement all 17 SDGs in architecture and the built environment. The design tool is used in the design of UN 17 Village, the first building in the world implementing all 17 sustainability goals in one housing project. This is how we enable change. Siemens Gamesa is a global leader in the wind power industry with a mission to make clean energy affordable and reliable. Siemens Gamesa is expanding its scope to address challenges beyond renewable energy generation. One such product is electrical thermal energy storage, or ETES, offering a cost-efficient gigawatt-scale storage solution. ETES is planned in 3 variants, which can 1. Make renewable baseload capable to mitigate curtailment, 2. Be added to existing heat cycle to increase flexibility and revenue base, 3. Turn power plants into large-scale storage to ensure security of supply and gain a second life options for these power plants. Sailing Group. We work towards 3 key agendas. 1. Reduce plastic. 2. Phase out single-use plastic. And 3. Prepare for reuse. With these packaging agendas towards our own labels, we ensure the highest level of recycling, reuse, and the ongoing work towards more sustainable plastic packaging. To reach our key ambitions, we have introduced 10 plastic packaging principles for our own labels to reduce plastic packaging by 30% by 2023 and ensure all our products are 100% recyclable. Working with our principles is a journey, and the first step is to go from mixed to mono material. These 4 examples represent how we work with our plastic principles in practice.
I think we should go ahead, shouldn't we?
Do that.
This is definitely an exciting and category with heavyweights. So let's see who the winner is in this category.
I'd like to say a couple of words to the winner, to the potential. We were happy to keep this award, to keep this trophy for the entire year, but also as an advice to the winner company that stay curious, stay innovative, and keep the good work in this cross-field between sustainability and tech, and also use this trophy to inspire the others to do the same. Please, Thomas.
Great. Thank you so much. And well, the winner for the Best Company Award is Christian Hansen for the multi-strain probiotic that helps preterm infants. Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am extremely proud to be here to accept the prize on behalf of my company, Christian Hansen. And I can say, as you also mentioned, that who doesn't want this award for Best Company? For sure, I'm very happy to accept it. At Christian Hansen, we believe that probiotics is a very important way that you can positively influence the global health of not only people, but also animals and plants. And this award is the testimony to the impact it can have. As a mother myself, and also, of course, all the parents we have and people in general at our company, this specific product that you just saw presented for vulnerable preterm infants falls especially close to our hearts. And I'm very happy to accept the prize, but also, of course, must say that it has taken many years to provide the clinical evidence for this kind of product and bring it to market, also involving not only internal resources, but also working very closely with our customers, of course. So thank you very much.
Welcome back, and congratulations to all the winners so far. Next up, we would like now to introduce the nominees for the Next Gen Award to the stage for a discussion. These are the nominees, except for the young gentleman in the middle. We gave the students, this is one of our most important awards, all right? The glass is very small letters. All right, we gave the students from the Copenhagen Business School Climate Club the opportunity to nominate business leaders who are making an extraordinary effort for sustainability. We allowed them to run a campaign for fellow students to vote for a business leader that they believe is making the greatest impact. So after the panel discussion, we'll award the Next Generation Award, as well as the other 6 more SDG Tech categories. But for right now, we'd like to welcome our co-host. This is also and nominee, Natasha Friis Saxberg, CEO of the Danish ITC Industry Association. Jesper Panduro, CEO and owner of Skagerrak, depending on where we are. Louisa Kark, Corporate Sustainability Director at Dell Technologies. And at the far end, the handsome gentleman there, also wearing glasses, Flemming Bessenbacher, Chairman of the Carlsberg Foundation. And in the middle, the man that got this ball rolling, Malte Werner, President of the CBS Copenhagen Business School Climate Club. All right, Werner, what's all this about, Mr. Malte Werner? Why?
So we have a vision that we want to empower the next generation of business leaders to be frontrunners for sustainable business. So we thought this was a great opportunity to reward some of those who inspire us. And that's why we have gathered these great people here today.
Well done. Cool. Well, you had a couple of questions.
Yeah.
We'll see how many of these questions get through. You had a very long list of questions. But let's see, the dilemmas. I want to give you guys just a quick moment just to mention where you come from, because maybe not everybody knows them. People have heard of Carlsberg, but if we just take it from the end. You said the Carlsberg Foundation. What exactly is the Carlsberg Foundation? I mean, we all know Carlsberg beer, but Flemming.
The Carlsberg Foundation is the main shareholder of Carlsberg. The founder of Carlsberg, J.C. Jacobsen, actually donated his brewery back in 1876 to the foundation. And the foundation still today have 76% of the votes and having also great shareholder value in the Carlsberg. Besides being the main shareholder of Carlsberg, we actually also donated 600 million kroner every year to basic fundamental research within humanity, social science, and natural science.
That was 600 billion?
600 million DKK.
All right, so about $100 million.
Yes.
Not a bad amount. Cool. Natasha.
The Danish ICT Industry Association is representing more than 750 IT companies. So we don't only have a big impact as an industry, but every single member of a member organization is focusing on how we can be more sustainable, and new solutions are sprouting out there. So that's something we're trying to support.
Cool. Yes, well, what did you do wrong that you ended up here? And what do you do at work?
I try to inspire.
Cool.
At work. I'm from Skagerrak, and we are a Danish furniture company founded in the 70s. And we work both indoor and outdoor.
Cool. Louisa?
Yes, I'm from Dell Technologies. Many people think it's a computer company. It is, and it's so much more. It's everything within the digital transformation, from computers, laptops to servers, storage, IoT, AI, you name it, the whole thing. 160,000 team members around the world, founded by Michael Dell 35 years ago, and we're fortunate that he's still the CEO of the company, and on a mission to drive human progress with technology.
Cool, that sounds good too. I can get behind that. All right, so of course, if we get into more specific dilemmas, you nominated these people. Why? Because, I mean, we've got a bit of a span from IT, all the pieces of it, to furniture, to beer, to an IT organization. Why these people specifically? Because you know these are inspirations.
And well, overall, yeah, we chose them because they're great inspiration to us, but also because they represent someone who take a different approach to doing business in the 21st century. We, as you talked about, the trade-off between making good business and making sustainable business, it is something that really requires creative solutions, and that's very broad. And we nominated these people because they have been showing really excellent efforts to do that in various different industries.
Oh, well, I'd love to hear in your own words then, of course. So let's say the impact of picking, because I've done the tour out at Carlsberg. I've seen that all the bits and pieces of the process, the malt, etc., gets fed to cows after it's been used to make beer. But since then, think of some of the specifics that you get into with making an impact in this space.
Well, if I take my Carlsberg hat on, I mean, we are producing beer, as you say, but we have to do this in a sustainable way. And therefore, together with my CEO and the board, we decided to have the sustainability program called Towards Zero, meaning that in 2030, we will have no carbon emission from our brewers, and we will have no water waste from our brewers. And that's now fully embedded our strategy and fully embedded our brewers. Besides that, I've been doing a number of other things, which I think why I'm standing here today. I was chairman to the Danish government on an advisory board on circular economy, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rethink. We are using too much resources here. If all people on the globe were living as we're doing in Denmark, that requires 4 globes of resources, which is not sustainable. The overshoot day is every year around 1st of August and so forth here. So I came with a lot of recommendations to the Danish government, and now the Danish government actually have a circular economy strategy. I'm also chairman now of a think tank to the Danish government on 1/3 food loss and food waste. 1/3 of all food around the world is getting lost when we come from farm to fork, and that's I'm fighting for also. So I'm doing a lot of other things. I'm doing it because I think it's the right thing to do. Finally, I'm also chairman of an organization called Unleash, where every year we take 1,000 talents from around the world, bring them together to come up with new, innovative, creative solutions to the Sustainable Development Goals. The first event took place in Denmark in 2017. We were in Singapore in 2017, China 2018, and my last trip was actually to India in February, where we were supposed to go to India with the next Unleash with 1,000 talents in Bangalore in November. Then came COVID, and now we're all running it online, on virtual hacks and so forth. Yeah. That's the short way of what I'm doing.
Cool. Well, when you've got as much money as Carlsberg and as big a platform, you can do a lot of things. You've got a slightly smaller platform, Natasha. What are you doing? You got more members.
The platform is great. The money, well, but I think what we're trying to promote is the biggest obstacle towards the change we want to see, and how we can cultivate the potential of technology is not technology in itself. We don't need more technology. What we need is to rethink the systemic barriers, the systemic pillars of the 21st century, because most of the structures that we've built our organization, our foundations, our societies, our democracy, capitalism, all those structures were designed in the previous century to solve the previous century's challenges. And most of those structures are not compatible with the structures we're seeing today. So what we're trying to promote is rethink how we can build systemic pillars of the 21st century. We need a new mindset. Resources is not in abundance. We see shock crises like Corona. And this was just a tiny test of what we're going to expect from the climate crisis, the cyber crisis, whatever we're going to face in the future. So if we don't get it this time around, we haven't used this opportunity to face the next opportunity or the next crisis that we're going to face. So a new mindset, new systemic pillars, and most of all, courage.
Boom, we talked about that earlier today. Well, we've got a consumable and then a big piece of money that can make things happen, and the foundation. We've got IT, which is very diffuse. You've got a durable. The furniture you make is supposed to last. We can actually feel it and see it. What's your take, and what are you doing?
I think I once tried to learn to work with a vision and a mission, and I couldn't figure it out. So we have a philosophy instead. And we want to give more than we take.
Cool.
And it would be nice to produce something else than furniture, but now we do that. And besides that, we also we love wood. And we set out on a mission to make sure that we do quality in design, and quality in manufacturing, and quality in the relationships. And when we did that, we could also see, instead of working with sustainability as a tool that you sometimes used and sometimes you don't, then we set out to make it part of our daily operation and our culture. And I feel now it's very strong. So you know, we go to work every day to give more than we take. We know we have to make money as well. If you don't have any money, you cannot run any risks, make any changes. But that's what we do.
Cool. Let's say, as we transition over here, let's hear what you guys do, because digital is, again, famously invisible usually. So I'd love to hear what you guys are doing, and then also like the impact that this choice has made, because it requires a change in everybody's thinking. What's the impact that you've seen of this? And specifically, one of the things we want to do, because this is one of the Sustainary's goals, is how do we make money doing this, right? Is this going green, this shifting to sustainability, how are you earning cash off of this? I remember at Carlsberg hearing that you reused your bottles 33 times. And I thought, well, it's got to be cheaper than buying 33 bottles. So, you know, being green can also be green in the other way. So what are you guys doing, and how are you seeing the impact, both in making money and often otherwise?
Well, if by you guys, if you mean Dell Technologies.
Dell Technologies.
Overall,
you're a big business.
Yeah,
what is it, 100,000 plus of you? There's got to be a lot.
Yeah, 160,000 team members.
Voila.
Yep. So yes, it is a very big business for sure. And I would say that sustainability, diversity has been a part of the company for a long time, and also a really important ethics by Michael Dell. He usually says, when it's your name on the door or on every product, you care deeply about the legacy of your company. That's a good reason. So it's been part of what we do for a long time, and we don't wait for customers to come and tell us what to do. But when customers start putting more solid demands on energy efficiency, on climate programs, on circular economy, on supply chain responsibility, we listen very carefully and we make sure that we stay ahead of the game. And that's actually one of my roles. I'm leading our programs for customer engagement and partnerships across 170 countries. And I'm actually on a secret mission to build a better world through business.
Cool.
And showing the business case of doing that. So every time I have a big customer win or deal, or a customer who's really interested in this topic, I make sure to bring visibility of that into the global strategy team and the global leaders. And this has become more and more important for Dell. So last year, we launched our 2030 goals. We had our 2020 goals that were launched 7 years ago. But 2030 goals that we call Progress Made Real, which is formed on 4 pillars. So it is advancing sustainability, which is the sustainability of our product life cycle, operations, our supply chain. It's diversity and inclusion, about building the workforce of tomorrow and building a truly inclusive culture. It's giving, transforming lives with social innovation and technology, and then ethics and privacy underneath that. So a really solid plan with 22 goals and a range of moonshot goals as well. So that's what we're working towards now.
Yeah, and how do you see it turning into dollars and cents? Like, I'm seeing the saving money of, like reducing electricity. I'm thinking, the server parks use an awful lot of electricity, so reducing electricity, I see money in the bank there. With this, do you see any wins? Do you see it easier to gain talent? I mean, 160 people, you've got to be hiring an awful lot of people every year.
I mean, definitely, this is a business imperative, and you'll hear Michael Dell and our sales leaders say that sustainability is a business imperative, and you can see there's two parameters to look at it. You can talk about driving sustainability in IT, so being able to offer those sustainable IT solutions that our customers increasingly want, and I can tell you that that's a big market demand out there. And then there is driving sustainability with IT, and I think that's the next level for us to really truly focus our efforts, our technology skills on developing solutions that would drive progress for the Sustainable Development Goals, that will help our customers meet their climate goals or expand access to education and healthcare.
The rest of you, jump in, because I'm looking for a discussion. We're looking for a discussion. How is this making a difference in making money, and what are you learning from each other? What are you picking up? What are you guys noticing that other brewers do? Or what knowledge are you picking up round and about? Yeah.
Well, I was also thinking that we talk about how do we make profits from making sustainable businesses, but I think it's one of the most pressing issues is we have to consider how do we even measure our impact. You guys are, of course, generally like pioneers within that area, but if we consider the general business environment, then the norm is still to be an all-for-profit and only measure the single bottom line. But we have to change that thinking and implement that on a much broader level. So I think that's the interesting question, is how compatible is that, and how do we make that compatible with doing good business?
Cool. Hey, what are we measuring differently? I'd love to hear that. If you got a bid on that.
How are we measuring differently?
Yeah, what are we measuring differently?
I think what's changing is that sustainability was associated with philanthropy a few years back. And I think what we're seeing is a maturity that sustainability is not something we're doing just because it's good. It's the future of our markets. It's the future of the employees we want to attract. Customers will not buy from us if we don't think sustainable. And also, look at all the amazing problems we're having out there. If we can put an entrepreneurial mindset into that and convert those problems into what are they worth? What will it cost, or what can we gain from efficiency? If you look at food loss, Eric Allen from Vækstfonden said 30% of all food in the world is wasted. And many places you're overproducing by 50% because the supply chain is not working, because we decided for a reality where resources was in abundance. So we have enough resources. That's not our problem. It's how we use it and how we rethink it. So what we need to measure on is where are the problems in the world, and what can we gain efficiently, or what can we gain in profits from solving it?
What are you seeing? What are you measuring differently? What's the impact?
I like the idea of starting from the top, but I also think if you want to have a really change, you also have to start to work with each and every company. We are a small company. We are 40 people. That's not a lot, but we're all dedicated. And 4 years ago, we joined B Corp. B Corp is benefit corporation. You have a 360-degree look on your business, from equal pay to electricity, to how much waste you produce and how you can reuse it. You look on your local commitment. So you actually you try to measure how each part of your business is best for the world instead of best in the world. As you said, with one bottom line only, you have multiple here. And the great thing is, I think it allows us, it shows us where we can improve.
And so where are some of the examples? Because you're delightfully close to the coalface. You're making stuff. Yep. Where do you see, do you see gains in wood saved, lowered costs?
No, we've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So since late 90s, we've been working with FSC wood. And, but that's only about the raw material.
Certified renewable wood. And sustainable.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's only about the material. And we have been working with Code of Conduct, which is only about how you produce. And we wanted something that was about the whole company.
Cool.
So when you start thinking like that, how can we always measure and improve? You will have improvements everywhere. Because if, in my opinion, if you only do like B Corp or some other assessment once a year, you will have changes that are very short term. But if you want to make a long-lasting change, I think it has to be part of your culture that you constantly try to improve. And And for instance, at our place, we said we don't have any individual bonuses anymore. We have a collective bonus. That's the one we have. Because when we have a collective bonus, we see we all help to reach the goals we want to reach.
I'd love to bring Flemming into this, because you run a slightly larger organization, and when I talk to guys like you from big organizations, you always envy these guys, because you can see sort of from top to bottom of the organization, where at Carlsberg, worldwide, there are a couple of countries that you don't sell the beer in, I think. Maybe, still.
Maybe.
But otherwise. So how do you, from here in Denmark, reach, Western Samoa and, all the parts?
Let me first make a comment. I was in January in the World Economic Forum in Davos, and there it was said we are at a funeral. And what did they mean by funeral? That was a funeral of shareholder capitalism, and now we're moving into stakeholder capitalism. And for me, that was easy, because Carlsberg, being actually owned by the foundation, we have several bottom lines. Of course, as being said here, a company like Carlsberg, we should, of course, earn money. Otherwise, we are not in business. We should also actually embed sustainability in our strategy. So P for profit, P for planet, P for people. I think it's very important also to empower young people with their minds and their creativity, also in big organizations. And then finally, P for purpose. I mean, we are here for brewing for a better world today and tomorrow. Yeah. So it was actually interesting to see actually also many companies, huge companies from around the world, US and wherever, actually now seeing more and more that you actually have to shift from this shareholder capitalism into stakeholder capitalism. The other thing, and that requires leadership, because it's only when the CEO and the chairman and the board of trustees are saying, this is what we're going to do. So leadership is going to be incredibly important. And also leadership on the head of states, right? I mean, we only have one globe, and we're all citizens on that single globe here. So, I mean, carbon emission does not have any borders and so forth here. So it's only when China, US, India, Russia, Brazil, Europe meets together and say, now we are committed to the goals from the Paris Agreement. And therefore, of course, I mean, if you now look at the debate tonight, right, I mean, it's a little bit insane that suddenly US say, well, we'll no longer have the Paris Agreement and so forth. But still there you see leadership, right? Take California, right? Independing what was said in Washington, they said, we just do it. And I see that happening more and more and more. But then finally, the young people, because I really also see that if you look at the last elections, I mean, I was last year in United Nations General Assembly, right? And I saw, I mean, thousands of people walking on the street, mainly young people, because, I mean, it's our lifetime, it's our globe and so forth, so we want to make a change. And that's also why I think, I mean, Malte and CBS students and so forth here, I really think that it's their generation and they should take responsibility and also put pressure on the organization where they're working on. So I think actually also congratulations to them for setting up this event here, because I think young people is going to make a huge difference in the world going forward here.
Specific things. I always love these specific examples. I always loved how Louis Pasteur and J.C. Jacobson were friends back, and turns out pasteurization was important to making their beer and making lots of their beer. I was thinking, let's see if specific things. Like one of the things that always matters with CBS, business school, numbers. You know, what are the things we're counting differently? I mean, if you had Michael Dell and you could tell him one thing to count differently in his company.
But there are what is called science-based numbers. There's science-based numbers for water, there's science-based numbers for carbon emission and so forth. And we're using these science-based numbers simply actually to measure and account, because if you don't measure, you cannot see your progress here. And furthermore, also, actually research at the Carlsberg also have the Carlsberg Research Laboratory. And as you know, in order to make beer, you have to have barley. But the weather is changing around the world. So actually, Birgitte Skauhag, our team, is now developing a climate-resistant barley species. More efficient, very good for the climate, also very good for the beer. So research is also incredibly important going forward here, also for Carlsberg.
You're nodding about numbers.
Yeah, well, just to comment on that, that reporting, which is what we're talking about, is environmental social governance reporting in terms of the triple bottom line, which used to be the term, right? So there's a huge trend, very important trend right now, where the investors are driving the demands for companies to report according to these ESG standards. And there's still quite many standards out there, but they're all kind of coming together in one, more or less coalescing. So the ESG standards for sure, And there are also more mature, you can say, frameworks now, like the B Corp, also like the Future Fit, that says, well, it's not enough to be talking about, we are 10% better than last year, but like this is what real good looks like. This is where we need to get to. So the Future Fit framework, the science-based targets on climate, saying, well, this is where we need to get to achieve the Paris Agreement. So I think there is a maturity shift, but still, of course, more work to be done.
Love to hear it. We got people on stage. We're at the SDG Tech Awards, run by Sustainery. We got a couple of different platforms. We got one of the world's biggest tech companies, and some of your members are, as small as 2 people, as doesn't get much smaller. Connecting you people together, who do you need help from? Who do you need to talk to? Right? That we got 540 nominees today, thousands of companies on this platform. What type of people do need to be? Are you interested in having reach out to you? Who can we connect you with that can help you do better, that can help you achieve more effect faster? You make stuff, and people that make physical stuff are famously not particularly digital, and sometimes the digital people are very unphysical. So who can we introduce you guys to, and who are you interested in reaching out to help you reach that next step? Take it away, Jesper.
It's difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Because,
sure.
One of the things I really like about B Corp is it's not only you're not only measured every 4 years, but you also it's kind of a community. Mm-hmm. And here in Denmark, they have succeeded in building small groups of different B Corps from different industries where we help each other and inspire each other. And
so, like specifically, who from the people watching this and all the companies in this platform?
Other B Corps are Let's Sushi, for instance.
Yeah. Oh, what I was thinking, to help you personally, like your particular company, for you guys. Maybe Natasha can help you out here with that.
I would like any role model out there looking like an ordinary businesswoman or businessman who actually made the move, making money on it, having efficient processes, attracting employees, getting new customers. Everyone who succeeded, who looks like a typical business person, reach out. Because if we want to change behavior, we need to change norms. And for the young generation, you need to see how the new mindset of driving business is a success. Otherwise, you're going to repeat the mistakes and the norms of the past century. So we need more people who's taken that step and have the courage to do things differently. So we can create a new norm, so we'll change the behavior of the future.
I fully agree with that, but I think also you have to work with the politicians, because what you're doing there is excellent and I fully support it, and we should do this. But right now we also have to try to convince the politicians to make the right decisions, right? That's an EU level. As you know, we have a very ambitious goal here with our social democratic government with this 70% reduction goal and so forth. Very ambitious. It would like to actually being implemented. And I think again there that at least I would hope now for the rest of the year that a huge part of the parliament actually agrees on really actions here. Because I do not believe that we can wait until 28 or 29 to do things. We really have to do it now.
So
Ursula von der Leyen actually in Europe and so forth here. You saw the other day in China, Xi Jinping said that China should be neutral in 2060 and so forth here. I'm very anxious to see what is happening in US right now, whether or not we will go back to coal or whether or not we will go back to green or so forth. But if we don't have leadership from the top on the state level here, so sorry to say, we're just pushing it further and further ahead, and that means that the problem for the younger people would just pile up.
I firmly believe that companies can do it. You don't have to be big, you don't have to be small, but if we join together, as for instance in B Corp, we can actually make that push. We don't have to wait for the government to make changes or any goals. We can do it ourselves.
Cool.
Yes, I agree with that. I think that's our role as the private industry. It is to push for that change, because the political momentum needs the push and needs the proof of what's possible to be the benchmark for what they think they can implement in the future. So I think that is pretty much our role, is to find that way so that can help empower others and the governments.
And if I may say so, not necessarily answering your question, but coming with, a call to action here. So we all have a role to play, whether it's big companies, whether it's the EU, the political leaders setting those overall ambitions and frameworks for action. And as consumers, every day we are voting, when we go to the supermarket, we're choosing, we're sending a signal to the companies to invest more in those more sustainable, responsible goods and services. When you, as talent, go and seek for new jobs, test them, be aggressive with the company, ask them about their commitments, and only choose the companies where you really see an alignment with your values and your goals.
What about some specifics? Because you'll have heard me saying this all along. I'm looking for some specifics, things we can, takeaways from people here, and I'd love some specific takeaways. The people out there can either apply or, in the case of, pick up the phone and pressure their politician. Politicians always say a handwritten letter directly to them always makes a big effort, makes a big impact. And what specific things are you guys doing?
I can see some of the things that we are looking for to meet our 2030 goals is to find new and more sustainable materials. So how can we replace more plastics with other bio-based materials, for example, or innovation with technology solutions to drive access to healthcare education.
We had somebody on stage here yesterday as part of the Green Impact Summit who was talking about, turned out that 20% of a Tesla car is hemp. Hadn't seen that coming, So when you talk about other materials with tech, I was saying, all right, so you've got there are lots of physical pieces to these. An awful lot of what you sell,
and there's an awful lot of recycled plastic bottles and recycled carbon fiber already in our products, but there is much more we can do. We have a goal that more than 50% of product materials should be made from renewable recycled materials in 2030.
How do you get your staff to actually care about the philosophy? Like, I'm thinking, there's just some people that are like, dude, I'm here to do work. I'm here to cut wood, How do you get them to, how do you, as the boss of this 40-man company, Fleming's always like, it must be so easy for you because all the people are right there, and I know from having led small organizations, that ain't always easy. How do you get them to care?
We do a lot of talking. And I think that's key, that we talk. I talk a lot, but we also talk with each other. So we have a dialogue about it because when you want to change something, it's about habits. And it takes a long time. I like to run, and sometimes I'm good at it, and sometimes I'm not. And it's about a habit. And it's the same in the workplace. So we talk a lot about how we change habits. And we can see from our perspective that with B Corp, we are able to inspire others. And they can see it's actually doable. You can do it. You don't have to focus on either profit or sustainability. They go hand in hand.
Cool. What are you seeing these companies do that inspires you when you get down to specific things? What sort of things trigger you when you think of them, when you think of, other than the holistic picture that?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is what targets or what objectives do the companies set in terms of CO2 or greenhouse gas emission reductions, because that is the most urgently and most related to the climate crisis. So that's the first thing you think of, and that's of course very different in terms of which industry you're in. But anyone who are pioneers, who are basically setting the benchmark, I would say that's what we're looking for.
Cool.
Well, we affect politicians. We have an industry. We have 90,000 employees, and what we're in the industry, not in the ICT Industry Association. What we're promoting is cross-sectoral collaboration, because it's not a political challenge, it's not an industrial challenge, it's not a societal. We need to solve this thing together, which makes it difficult. So what we're trying to facilitate is a collaboration and understanding that in order to create the next generation of value chains and systemic pillars, we need to take the people in the room who's also the barrier, or doesn't have the incentive to do the change, and have those conversations. How can we make you a success? How can we make sure you will still make money in this new paradigm? And if we understand that, we can design for it.
Super. And these industry organizations always have strong sort of peer opportunities, peer pressure, peer benchmarking. The last
just
word.
Follow up on that. I think that we have the 17 Sustainable Development Goal, and I keep saying the most important of these is number 17, partnership. Because, we have to have partnership with industry, partnership with academia, partnership with NGOs, partnerships with entrepreneurs, and also with the public sector and governments. And if we don't get this partnership right, we will never solve these issues here. We cannot solve them from Carlsberg, you cannot solve them, but we have to have this mutual understanding, where are we heading here? And I think it's also an ethical problem here. I'm normally saying that every generation have a responsibility to bring the world back, at least in the same state as we received it from our parents. And I'm sorry to say, our generation will probably be the first generation where this is not happening. And therefore, it's also an ethical problem. And we have to fight for that. And I think also I'm greatly admiring some of these young entrepreneurs who's doing a difference. And if I just should mention one here also for my food tank, 1/3 food loss and food waste think tank there, Mette Lykke here from Denmark. Mette, Too Good To Go, an app.
She's calling you now, thank you.
She's calling me now.
Well, apart from the telephone call at the end, I'll tell you, that was perfect, because over here they're going, stop talking. So,
actually developing an app which actually reduces the food loss and food waste. And now Mette is scaling this up to Sweden, Norway, Portugal, Spain, France, and so forth.
What's the name of the app one more time, which is the...
Too Good To Go.
Too Good To Go. And this is her second time around as an entrepreneur.
Sure, because she had also the running app Endomondo.
The running app, exactly. Well, listen.
And that she shows leadership.
Voila. Listen, I swear, I couldn't find a better way to finish. It's almost as though you're reading our website aloud to us. So we agree 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you on the panel. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's this. Let's give me a big round of applause. Super. Well, if you take that mic with you and you exit that way, boom, we'll move on to the next thing, because we got 7 more categories to announce. Thank you. You guys were great. Boom, I'll put this in my pocket. I know that's your telephone. We're just going to remove all the artifacts. All right, a little bit of housekeeping here. We've got 7 more categories to announce. The Next Generation Prize, because one of these people are all nominated. The People's Choice, Best NGO, Education, Fashion, Commerce, Health, and EU Green Week, etc., etc., etc. So, without further ado, please welcome the students from the CBS, Copenhagen Business School Climate Club, to this stage to present the winner of the Next Generation Award. Melda, I'm thinking that's you. The CBS Climate Club was based on a collective concern for the challenges of climate change and aims to encourage sustainable innovation and business strategies among fellow students.
All right, thank you. And we are honored because we are allowed to give the award for the next generation for someone who really truly inspires us to do sustainable business and to be a pioneer to look up to. So I would like to see Jesper Panduro on the stage. Thank you. Here you go. Have a...
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Really happy about this. Thank you so much.
You look surprised.
Yeah, I am. I think it's strong people around and inspiring people, and I'm really happy that that the students have chosen our company and what we do. That they can see themselves probably, hopefully, work in that direction when they have to start working. So very happy. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Means a lot. Thank you.
I think you can take this with you. Yeah, the prisen.
Big congratulations to Jesper and Skagerak, and thank you to the CBS students for taking this initiative. I would like to welcome our next guest on stage, Lars Carlsen, who is the owner and welfare revolutionist at People Like Us. Please welcome on the stage to present the award for the People's Choice.
Thank you so much having people like us here. We are honored to give the next prize, People's Choice. At first, I would like to say, drink some beers. It's People Like Us beers. Please, taste them. People Like Us is a small company, a brewery. We are on a mission to create jobs for people with disabilities by selling beers. So, but it's not for me. I'm honored to say that the winner of the People's Choice Award is... No? Nominees is... Sorry.
Their concept rewards individuals and businesses to own trees and thereby preserve biodiversity and contribute to the planet's CO2 capture. When the trees have done their job of keeping nature in balance, they're sold as sustainable timber. All revenue goes to the owner. EcoTree contributes to 3 of the SDGs by letting people invest in trees, preserve wildlife, and supply sustainable timber. ScandiPost offers same-day green last-mile delivery service. Deliveries are made by electric cargo bikes and vans. Our goal is to replace polluting delivery vans in cities. Deliveries are made to local pickup stores because 1 package per stop deliveries have a huge impact on the environment. Our service will reduce the environmental impact by 50 grams of CO2 per package. Catherine Larson's thesis Seaweed Thatch Reimagined. Imagine a building material that is rot-resistant, fire-resistant, non-toxic, insulates comparably with mineral wool, and can be used to create carbon-negative buildings. Sounds amazing, right? Actually, this material has been used for centuries around the world. It's called eelgrass, a type of seagrass. Inspired by the traditional seaweed thatching technique, Larson created prefabricated thatch panels. These panels can be used on roofs and facades. Seaweed Thatch Reimagined shows the value in returning to low-tech solutions from our past and re-engineering them for a sustainable future. PowerLens develops underwater camera technology that enables divers and ocean lovers to capture and share their experiences with the state of life in the ocean. Soon, PowerLens is launching their newest camera, the Wakita. Next to capturing breathtaking footage, it automatically logs crucial ocean data during your dive: conductivity, temperature, depth, and location. Dive you share through the PowerLens app, you're sharing ocean data with scientific partners. This helps them monitor changing conditions in local marine ecosystems and make the right predictions on how to preserve our oceans. Canpla creates a canteen platform that streamlines operations and increases turnover in canteens through pre-ordering via an app. Canpla was launched in early 2020, primarily targeting school canteens. Canpla's vision is to simplify everyday life and reduce food waste by implementing user-friendly technology through pre-ordering, which provides insight into what the canteen should produce, thus making it easier to create a responsible production. This is complemented by a showcase from the app where surplus food can be sold to users.
Okay, and the winner is EcoTree. Hej. Du skal også lige have den her.
Hi, thank you very much. Well, this is amazing. We've been actually we were applying to a few categories, and I was secretly hoping to win this one, because the EcoTree model is all about letting everyone, individuals, firms, organizations, to actually participate, engage themselves in tree planting and rebuilding the very much needed forest. We literally really want to put forests in everyone's hand. So, this fact that we've been selected by the public is just the best boost and the best reward we could literally think of. So, thank you so much to everyone. Let's plant trees and let's make this place a greener place. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lars. And for those of you that haven't been by, stop by people like us. Excellent beer, super cool people, very cool store. Sorry, that was a little plug there. Next up, presenting the Best NGO, Non-Governmental Organization Award. Please welcome Annemette Vestergaard from the European Parliament to the stage. The European Parliament office in Copenhagen provides a link between EU citizens in Denmark and policymakers in Brussels. They work to inform and empower citizens to take part in the democratic processes underpinning our union. Voilà.
Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot to Sustainery for this invitation to the award 2020. I am so proud to work for European democracy, and I am even prouder that to say that the European Union is ambitious on the behalf of the climate. We are taking our global leadership seriously. Sustainable development has since long been at the heart of the European project, and sustainable development is an overarching objective of all EU policies. Now the EU takes this a step further. We have a new climate law on the table, and if we want to achieve climate neutrality, thanks a lot, in 2050, I know that political ambitions are not enough. We also need binding legislation, and we need NGOs. We need people out there. We need people who are working at it. We have to do our part, each and one of us. And the winner of today, I'm sure, I'm not going to announce it yet. The winner of today will be an example to follow, both for us who are in this room, those who are watching behind their screens in Denmark and globally, and I'm eager to announce it. I can tell you, but I know that I'm not allowed to yet.
Super. You say, because this is just like the Oscars, we got down, the nominees are. But before we do that bit, and I'll be with you on the neutrality thing, this year's got an awful lot of tongue twisters in it. We'd also like to please welcome last year's Best NGO winner, Dr. Shimon Ginsberg, Project Evaluation Officer and Global Forest Fund Coordinator. Say that quickly 5 times. Who will be passing on the Circular Concept Best NGO trophy to this year's winner. Voilà, monsieur.
Yes. Is it on? Yes. Hello, my name is Shimon, and I work for Foundation for Environmental Education. And we were very happy to receive this prize last year. It really boosted our morale in the organization. So I think it's very, very important to have such a prize, and it represents a recognition from a distinguished experts in the field of sustainability. And so I want to say thank you for last year's award, and it's an honor to pass it over to somebody new.
The Danish Plastics Federation is the trade association for Danish plastics converting companies and their suppliers. Our key focus is how the Danish plastics industry can contribute to the green transition and circular economy. Too much plastic packaging is thrown away instead of being reused or recycled. To change this, Network for Circular Plastic Packaging, operated by the Danish Plastics Federation, has created Design Guide, Reuse and Recycling of Plastic Packaging for Private Consumers. The aim is to ensure that plastic packaging is designed for circularity. The Design Guide is the result of a collaboration across several fields and industries with individual perspectives on how to ensure circular plastic packaging. The guide is a tool for companies wanting to contribute to sustainable production and consumption, consisting of design decisions, concrete examples, and technical descriptions of how to design plastic materials for circularity. Clean, the Danish environmental cluster. Our mission is to create innovation and growth within Danish companies who have or need environmental technology solutions. To do this, we connect the private sector, research institutions, and the public sector to facilitate projects which accelerate innovation and a green transition. Environmental technologies contribute to the SDGs by improving the environment or minimizing negative impacts. Danish companies and knowledge institutions are particularly great at creating solutions within these 6 areas. Our mission is to create collaborations and use our innovation tools to make Danish environmental companies world-leading. Emergency architecture and human rights. At the end of 2019, half of refugees were children who, displaced across borders, face education challenges. Approximately 3.7 million refugee children are out of school. From its foundation in 2015, we work to build and upgrade education facilities that are child, disability, and gender sensitive. This year, we are making our commitment bigger by providing access to safe, inclusive, and effective learning facilities with our campaign 100 Classrooms for Refugee Children. For refugee children, access to education systems is essential. The time is now to protect, educate, and empower refugee children to heal and overcome the harsh realities of displacement, war, and conflicts, to change their behaviors, to go to school, and create better futures. Unleash is a global initiative bringing the world's top talents together to share ideas, build networks, and create solutions to help reach the Sustainable Development Goals. In 2019, the Unleash Plus 6-month pre-acceleration program was unveiled to support alumni teams with prototype solutions to fully launch into their market. Program worked with 25 teams from 14 countries covering 9 of the SDGs for a total of 109 people receiving new tools, knowledge, networks, and funding.
It's for me now. Okay. I am proud.
WonderTech Summit.
Wow. Okay. I am proud to announce the winner of Best NGO Award is Unleash. And there is also an explanation for their pre-acceleration program, Unleash Plus.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for this great award here. I'm chairman of Unleash, so I'm here standing, actually receiving this award on behalf of many, many other people here. First of all, I would like to thank all the partners behind Unleash. I would like to thank a fantastic Unleash Secretariat. But not least, I would like to now also thank around 3,000 and 4,000 Unleash alumni which have actually participated in Unleash. As was just said before, Unleash is an organization where every year we try to gather together 1,000 extremely talented, visionary, creative people to come up with a new solution to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. It started out in Denmark in 17, we traveled to Singapore in 18, we were in Shenzhen in 19, and we should have been in Bangalore here in November this year here. My last flight was to Bangalore in February, but then came COVID and we couldn't go there. I must say that when they come here, they are grouped up in teams of 5, they work extremely hard. They actually come up with a new solution. They come with a business plan in these 5-7 days here. And it's amazing to see what they can achieve in a very short while. So again, we have then developed Unleash Plus also, which is an acceleration program here, a great event. Being innovative, we also have to be innovative in our secretariat. Given the fact that we could not meet physically this year, we are now developing online tracks. Many tracks we've had here, you can follow them on an Unleash platform here. And I'm really looking forward to meet other Unleashed talents here to see how they can change the world. I think that if we're going to solve the issues of the world today, the youth is going to play a crucial role. And therefore, I think also that investing in the youth and their talents, their visionary ideas is what we should do. So thank you very much once again. And I look forward to work with even more partners with Unleash. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Annemette and Shimon, and a big congrats to Unleash. Now it's time for the Education Award, and to present that, I would like to welcome Kim Balle, who is the co-founder and chief executive officer of the XO company. Is he here? Is he ready? I see some action. Okay. You need a mic guy. The XO company has a mission to build bridges and navigate the establishment in this new era of how technology is being innovated. Please welcome Kim, who's already on stage.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much. This category is a great honor for me for two reasons. First of all, sustainability has always been important to me, and I always found an interest in understanding what was going on that account. You know, watching documentaries and reading up on the things, but it was always from a scientific point of view. But now in February, I'm going to be a father, and I can feel how, you know, the last six months has changed my approach to sustainability. So now it's not only about, you know, to understanding the scientific point of view, and in a way was kind of interesting, but now it's also important on an emotional basis. So I think this is a very important category, because the next generation is the generation that's going to save us. So education within this field is super important. And it's not only education for the next generation, it's also education for all of us here. And the second reason why it's important to me is because we also work together with Sustainary. We have the Global Startup Awards as one of our startup platforms. And here we are creating a platform focusing on reducing CO2 emissions. And that's one of the really important goals of SDG from my point of view. So let's see who the nominees are.
Unleash is a global initiative bringing the world's top talents together to share ideas, build networks, and create solutions to help reach the Sustainable Development Goals. In 2019, the Unleash Plus 6-month pre-acceleration program was unveiled to support alumni teams with prototype solutions to fully launch into their market. The program worked with 25 teams from 14 countries covering 9 of the SDGs for a total of 109 people receiving new tools, knowledge, networks, and funding. At the end of the program, over $30,000 of grants were distributed, and connections were made to the additional funders and capacity builders. For example, the $5,000 grant allowed the Uganda-based solution, One Day Health, to launch 3 clinics in medical black holes, and an additional funder connection allowed them to raise $25,000 towards launching 13 other clinics. Africa Reframed, the ultimate online marketplace for African visual content, powered by online learning. Through their innovative Learn and Earn platform, Africa Reframed supports African visual content creators and enables the world's leading brands to source forward-looking imagery from the African continent on demand. Africa Reframed, building the pipeline for sustained, positive, and dynamic storytelling from the African continent. Emergency architecture and human rights. At the end of 2019, half of refugees were children who, displaced across borders, face education challenges. Approximately 3.7 million refugee children are out of school. From its foundation in 2015, we worked to build and upgrade education facilities that are child, disability, and gender sensitive. This year, we are making our commitment bigger by providing access to safe, inclusive, and effective learning facilities with our campaign 100 Classrooms for Refugee Children. For refugee children, access to education systems is essential. The time is now to protect, educate, and empower refugee children to heal and overcome the harsh realities of displacement, war, and conflicts, to change their behaviors, to go to school, and create better futures. LuluLab is an award-winning game studio on a mission to change the world through engaging educational games on taboo topics. In 2020, LuluLab co-designed a platform of edtech games on sexual education in partnership with Save the Children, BRAC, and children in Uganda and Sierra Leone. The purpose of the dilemma game is to help eradicate teenage pregnancy and school dropouts in East and West Africa. The dilemma game has now been implemented in Uganda and Sierra Leone and has impacted thousands of girls and boys with valuable information on pregnancy, puberty, sexual rights and contraceptives. Lululab is now looking to scale to South Asia. Climator, a business for impact. Our goal is to fight global warming. 88% of all Danes believe global warming is a problem, but don't know how to reduce their carbon footprint in their daily life. They lack easy solutions. With the most precise online carbon calculator, you can easily find your footprint on our website. You will then be able to offset the carbon you emit through hand-picked projects, thus making you carbon neutral.
Exciting finalists. So let's see who the winner is of the category Education. The winner is Emergency Architecture and Human Rights for their 100 Classrooms for Refugee Children mission.
Well, thank you. And this is a great honor, but most than everything, it's a responsibility. And it's at the same time an opportunity. Tomorrow, actually, emergency architecture and human rights will be 5 years old. So it's actually one of the best gifts that we are going to receive. But this prize, of course, is going to the organization and to all the people that are working in the organization in the past 5 years. But most than everything, going to the communities. The community that we already work with in several countries, especially in the Middle East, in Southeast Asia. And I think the interesting thing of this award is that when we present, when we were nominated, what we present was a future campaign. So it's about the future, and education is about the future. The 100 Classrooms for Refugee Children will be located and will be built together with the communities, and each classroom will basically give the possibility to at least 50, 60 children to be educated, and at the moment, there are 3.7 million refugee children in the world. In relation, when we are talking about refugees, this moment is the highest number of refugees from after the Second World War. So this is, I think, an important commitment that we have within emergency architecture and human rights, but I think it's very important to understand that we cannot solve this problem alone. So I think this prize, is going not just to our organization, but to all the organization, all the communities, and all the company also that it's supporting all of this, and that will work in the future for this challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing work you're doing.
Super. Let me grab that mic. But cool. Congratulations, EAHR. And thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Cool. So presenting the Fashion and Commerce Award, we welcome Rasmus Channing, CEO and founder of the Creative Business Network, to the stage. Vasco, you'll need this.
Thank you.
Creative Business Network empowers startups in the creative industry, connecting them to investors in global markets, and strengthens their innovative capabilities to benefit industry and society. Though I think some of your colleagues may have opinions about your color choice. Green, we've all been noticing that today. Could have thought green into it. But take it away,
green,
Rasmus.
but I'm much more black and blue. Aren't we all blue when it comes down to it? Thank you for the introduction and thank you for the invitation to hand over this prize. Let's see who the nominees are, right?
Hood heroes. 40% of consumers worldwide give up on making sustainable, everyday choices due to unawareness, distrust, and confusion. Hood Heroes is changing that with our Hub for the Sustainable Market. Here, company sustainability is profiled, rated, and validated via crowdsourcing and data aggregation. This helps citizens find and impact sustainable brands while helping companies show and grow their sustainable brands. Also, we can make sustainability everyone's business. Beyond Leather Materials develops and produces a vegan and eco-friendly alternative to animal leather based on a byproduct from juice and cider production. Our vision of sustainable future is a circular economy approach to production using industrial waste streams of all kinds. The leather industry is one of the most hazardous process industries, and our insight into the B2B global leather supplier industry shows that brands today all have one thing in common: their consumers demand a vegan, sustainable option. SomeFancyName.com, a community for sustainable designers that allows you to discover unique, innovative, and sustainably designed clothes. You can choose sustainable products, empower women entrepreneurs and local businesses, all within the walls of your home. Join our community and empower our sustainable designers. Wear is starting a waste-free fashion revolution by making textile upcycling a scalable and profitable solution to the wasteful fashion industry. Less than 1% of textiles are recirculated. Wear wants to change this through an upcycling model that makes textile upcycling scalable so that we can become the catalyst for a waste-free fashion revolution. Our first product transforms denim into sneakers. By reusing fabrics, we skip resource-intensive steps such as dyeing, spinning, and weaving, and can thereby offer sustainable fashion where people don't have to compromise on price or style. Young people feel overwhelmed by the size of challenges facing the world. They are looking for hope and a platform to connect, collaborate, and take action. Impactor is a video-based app that empowers creators and influencers to inspire others to join them in sustainable actions. Small actions don't add up unless we do them together.
Now, this is really exciting. To be able to tell who will be the winner of this category, Fashion and Commerce Award of the SDG Tech Awards. I just want to say that in about half an hour, if you want to know more about what Creative Business Network is about, we have the Creative Business Cup Denmark at 4 o'clock. So in half an hour, you will be able to see who are it's going to be live pitching up here from stage of the top 5 out of 15 startups we started with this morning. And by the way, I can tell you tomorrow, if you want to zoom in, we have 45 startups of Creative Business Cup Nigeria that you can all watch online. So, the winner of the Fashion and Commerce Award is Wear. Yay! For their sustainable shoes from upcycled textiles. I would want some. Congratulations. We almost did it. And here is a beautiful diploma for you. Maybe you want to say a few things to the audience about this great honor?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you so much. We're so honored. It's some amazing companies that are finalists in this category, so we are extremely honored. So thank you to Sustainery and thank you to the juries for choosing us. It's quite crazy to think about the fact that like 2 years ago I was sitting and sewing weird prototypes of shoes in my room that looked more like slippers than they looked like actual sneakers, and now I'm wearing the Wear sneakers and you can actually buy them and people are wearing them. That's quite insane to think about, so I'm just super grateful and super happy, and I want to say thank you to the Wear team who's sitting and watching, and I want to say a special shout out to my dad as well, who's been really helpful in like biking around with the first shoes and lending me his living room to take over with all the shoes that we got.
We'll all be wearing Wear now.
I hope so, that would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rasmus. Congratulations, Wear, and where's Daddy at home somewhere? So we're going to see who's going to win the Health Award now. And in order to reveal that prize, I would like to welcome Line Poulsen, who's the Chief Consultant at the Confederation of Danish Industry, also called DI. DI is a private business and employers organization representing approximately 18,000 organizations. And their aim is to improve the conditions for the member companies so they can conduct competitive business in Denmark and abroad. Please welcome Line.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting us here at this amazing event. I've been looking forward to coming here. Yes, I have the privilege of working with SDGs every day.
We have 7,000 member companies at DI. A lot of them are quite small, and many of them are very eager to figure out how they can contribute to this to a more sustainable world. So how they can integrate the SDGs into their core strategy. It's actually kind of interesting because it's not only a few sectors, it's all sectors. So we receive a lot of requests every day from various companies, various sizes of companies, in order for us to help them initiate this journey. It's very uplifting, actually. Even despite COVID and the crisis in the organization, they're still reaching out to make a more sustainable strategy. So what we do is we help them figure out which SDGs are most relevant for them. We look at how we can pair their core competencies with the issues there is out there in the world, and make them help them make a strategy. So far we helped approximately 50 companies in depth, their board of directors and their you could say the directors, but we're also helping various amount of companies in terms of making workshops and speaking at conferences. So it's a very widespread agenda now. It's really nice to see that. And when we go abroad to sister companies, so the DI sister companies around the world, in Africa, in South America and so on, we experience the same eagerness to understand how they can actually take these SDGs and make them into core strategies and make a better and more future-proof business models based on them. So it's very uplifting to see this tendency throughout every country and throughout every sector. Anyway, I've gotten the honor to present the Health Award today, so let's look at the nominees.
Blue Ocean Robotics subsidiary UVD Robots, a robot that uses UVC light to autonomously disinfect contaminated environments to attack multi-resistant microbes and viruses, including COVID-19. Combining microbiology with advanced robotics, the autonomous UVD robot can navigate while ensuring all surfaces are destroyed of over 99.99% of bacteria. This invention is used to disinfect hospitals, hotels, food processing plants, pharmaceutical rooms, airports, train stations, preschools, and more in over 60 countries. GoPen was founded in 2019 to help solve the health inequity crisis by giving the resource poor equal access to affordable insulin pens. They have patented and developed an affordable alternative to syringes that provide the same health benefits as other pens. This will give syringe users the opportunity to improve self-management and therefore compliance, improving overall health. With a starter pack, patients will buy a blister pack with 10 units from GoPen. From other suppliers, they will buy insulin, needles, and blood glucose measurement that they already buy. This is similar to their current buying process. CHR Hansen. 2.4 million babies are born extremely preterm globally every year. The inflammatory disease necrotizing enterocolitis is the leading cause of mortality for this group. A 3-strain probiotic blend by CHR Hansen supports the intestinal tract for the healthy immune and digestive function. Launched in November 2019, the product is used in neonatal intensive care units. Our 3-strain probiotic blend supports the health and development of intestines while reducing the leading cause of death among preterm babies in an all-natural way. Sledby is a professional helpline within Save the Children for children who are victims of online harassment. By providing psychosocial support, knowledge about rights and laws, guidance to reporting harassing material to social media platforms, and reporting online harassment to the police, no young person who has been exposed to online harassment is alone. We know how big a barrier it is for young people to seek help, especially from the guilt and shame associated with online sexual harassment. A confidential helpline is therefore relevant to help young people. In our counseling, we listen to the child's narrative and acknowledge their feelings, tell them it is not their fault, inform about rights, and together find the best action. It is important that the child is left with a concrete action plan. Organic Cup, more than a menstrual cup. Together with our community and partners, we're starting conversations, breaking down taboos, and reshaping how periods affect our lives, our bodies, and our environment. Organic cotton can be used for years and has a minimal impact on the environment compared to tampons and pads. On average, customers use the same cups for 2 years, avoiding the waste of 528 disposable period products per user. Our packaging is made from a recyclable carton with all instructions printed directly onto it to avoid waste. Furthermore, the packaging size is minimized to reduce transport emissions. The cotton storage bag is made from unbleached organic cotton.
Oh, so many interesting and amazing solutions. I wish we could choose them all, but we do have one winner here for the Health Award. Are you ready? The winner of the Health Award is Blue Ocean Robotics with UED Robotics. Congratulations.
Thank you so much to Sustainery for the SDG Tech Award in Healthcare. We are very honored to receive this award, and we're very proud of the work that we've been doing. I really want to give a special thanks to also all of our employees who work very dedicated on creating such a robot that actually saves a lot of lives every day all over the world. This has been an outstanding thing for us, and I know that it means a lot to all. So once again, thank you very much for the award. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Blue Ocean. Thank you, Lena, for presenting that award. Phew, ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the end of the line. Or we were, until I did not see. Is Stina here? I am now going to perform a short interactive dance. That was just a joke. Modern interact? No? Okay, good. You're not going to get me to sing either. I'm not being paid enough for that this time. But in a minute, we're going to welcome Stina Sovasa to the stage. She is the head of the European Commission representation here in the fabulous country of Denmark. We're going to represent her to the stage to present the final award, the EU Green Week Award. The EU Commission is the executive branch of the European Union. It's responsible for proposing legislation, implementing decisions, upholding European EU treaties, and managing the day-to-day business of the European Union. But I don't see her, so we're going to take a break. Can we take a break in the stream? Super. Here we are. This is it, the end of the day, the last of 15 awards. It's been good. Please welcome Stina Sovasa, head of the European Commission representation here in Denmark, to the stage to present the final award, the EU Green Week Award. The European Commission is the executive branch of the European Union, responsible for proposing legislation, implementing decisions, upholding the EU treaties, and managing the day-to-day business of the EU. Quite a mouthful. Please join me in giving her a hand.
Thank you very much. It is obviously a huge honor to be here to present the EU Green Week Award. The EU Green Week this year was about biodiversity, because we realized that without biodiversity, without protecting our ecosystems, all the fantastic tech things that you have been giving out award for today will not really be helpful, because without a healthy environment, a healthy biodiversity, we will not have any planet on which we can live. So it gives me great honor to present the nominees for the EU Green Week Award.
Better Energy, a renewable energy company that wants to drive a renewable energy revolution with projects that benefit biodiversity and ecosystems. Better Energy's pilot initiative for biodiversity will be rolled out in the Blangslev solar plant. After a thorough local environmental study, distinct biodiversity points of impact will be incorporated in the solar plant to ensure nature has an opportunity to spread and thrive. Solar is unique as a renewable power source because it can combine clean energy production and habitat conservation. With careful research and planning, solar plant sites can help restore and conserve nature, increase biodiversity, and support healthy ecosystems. Solar plant sites can serve as important stepping stones to help reverse the trend of declining biodiversity. The Global Forest Fund is a unique carbon compensation initiative developed by the Foundation for Environmental Education that allows businesses and individuals to reduce their carbon footprint by providing valuable resources and environmental education to communities around the world. Our web platform allows travelers to calculate their carbon emissions across a range of transport options and compensate for those emissions by investing in projects that make a real and lasting environmental impact. These projects capture carbon, restore nature, protect biodiversity, promote sustainable communities, and educate the next generation of environmental leaders. EcoTree is a French-Danish forestry startup with more than 30,000 clients and 600 companies. Their concept rewards individuals and businesses to own trees and thereby preserve biodiversity and contribute to the planet's CO2 capture. When the trees have done their job of keeping nature in balance, they're sold as sustainable timber. All revenue goes to the owner. EcoTree contributes to 3 of the SDGs by letting people invest in trees, preserve wildlife, and supply sustainable timber. The Preyline Community Network, Copenhagen University, Web Essentials, and Dan Mission produced a simple but powerful app to prove illegal logging activities in the Preyline region in Cambodia. Today, community members use the app to collect data on illegal logging and biodiversity with the same accuracy as professionals and actively influence the political decision affecting their livelihoods. Roboto. We want to make the world more sustainable through robotics. WRA. We want to prove that technology can make a real impact. The increasing numbers and severity of wildfires is a deadly symptom of global warming, and one we can help diminish. We are providing the data firefighters need to make safer, faster, and smarter decisions on wildfire operations, ultimately containing wildfires faster.
Well, I'm glad I was not in the jury because I think that all of these companies actually deserve to win because this has been a really enormous impact that the companies and the organizations have, and they are all working in areas which are hugely important, not just for Europe, but actually for the world. But we have to have a winner. And so the winner of the EU Green Week's award is Roboto for their autonomous wildlife recognition and analytic drone Abra. Please. Congratulations, well done. And a fantastic way of showing that artificial intelligence, digital development and biodiversity need to go hand in hand.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Sustainary for giving us this award. We are truly blessed to see that an idea that started as a bachelor project 2 years ago with the idea of making a drone delivery pizza now has become a worthy award-winning EU Green Award. We really are amazed about the growth we have seen as a company, and we want to thank all the supporters that we have had until now, SEA, the Danish Business Hub, the Innovation Fund, all of our amazing team at Roboto and our families for all the support they have given us this far. And we really believe that with AI and robotics we can make a change in sustainability, and we can bring the message of ethics forward to build a more sustainable future for all of us. So thank you very much.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to Roboto. Well, all good things have to come to an end, and so does the SDG Tech Awards 2020. Thank you so much for staying tuned virtually and coming along, and all to the people physically doing the clapping and the real all the real emotions going on. And Nick, you've been an amazing co-host again this year.
A pleasure always to work with you. A pleasure.
I look forward to next year if we're hired again.
Yes, I think if you ask nicely, they'll invite us back. I love you. Well, listen, stay tuned, right? Because the Creative Business Cup Denmark is up next. It includes 5 pitch presentations from an amazing group they had this year. Again, you talk about being glad you didn't have to pick. I'm glad I didn't have to send people home from this because it was face-to-face. They've been at it all afternoon. So we got 5 startups here from the cultural industry in Denmark, and they're going to pick the winner here in about 10 minutes. Enjoy. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to all the winners.
Yes.